It's Friday, September 12th, 2025. Let's start off as we semi-typical. No, we shouldn't say that. We do now. Typically, we do start off. I'm pretty good about this now. By telling you that if you'd like to support our show, you can go to supportourshow.com, where you will find an array of options to support the show. It's fairly self-explanatory, so I don't put a lot of verbiage. There isn't a lot there. It's just buttons. And those buttons tell you what to do, so you can take advantage of them if you'd like. I will remind everybody that the Patreon, everything on there is available on the free tier. So do not feel like you have to donate money if you'd like to go there, but it is, thus far, the one place where I can post everything without any restrictions, censorship, edits, rejects, re-uploads, notations, blocks in certain countries. Oh, copyright holder has blah, 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 fucking blah, whatever. All that is not yet. I say yet because, of course, it will. But for now, it is utterly free and Wild West territory. So that is where, as far as the video stuff goes, like our movie reviews, that is where you're going to see the most pure stuff. Because it doesn't seem to scan it at all for anything. It doesn't hurt that I don't post anything there that is in pristine 4K quality. But even when I've degraded things for YouTube in horrific ways, it still blocks everything. So Patreon is still better than YouTube, which sucks shit. Not for, the most recent thing even, where they were injecting AI upscaling into people's videos without telling them. But that's just another reason why I'm glad I don't care about YouTube anymore. Because fuck YouTube. All that being a long way of saying Patreon is a good place to go. Whether you donate monetarily
it's a good
or not,
t-shirt,
because...
by the way.
What's that?
Because fuck YouTube.
Oh, I guarantee that shirt exists. Somebody has that.
I wonder.
Yeah, somebody has that. I actually have considered making a threadless shirt that has RFK's picture and wanted for future murder of children, but I suspect they won't allow that. So. But I got to tell you, I'm really glad I got my COVID and flu shots now, because I said this on Blue Sky, and I only half-jokingly said it, that by the end of this month, going to a pharmacy might get you arrested. So I'm glad I got my shit when I got it. So,
you know what? I actually
jumped
can't
on it.
Find a because fuck you YouTube t-shirt.
Well,
yeah. I mean, there's fuck you. That's
I guess I
why.
can make it.
No, I would just think it's funny. Yeah,
maybe
politics.
Maybe I will make it.
Oh,
you know what? That particular thing is not politics. That is
science.
simply
The science. Yeah, the
anti-science.
I mean, yeah, he is the
It's
worst
anti-health
person you could put. But honestly,
he
you know
is
what?
the dark seed of health.
Listen, if you wanted, let's take a step.
Jesus Christ,
sideways.
he really is, because he's found the anti-life equation, and it's called vaccines for him. Wow.
Let's step sideways for a minute from our politics, right?
Sure.
And let's just look at things in a tactical way, right? You want to be able to do whatever the fuck you want to do. You want to be able to make as much money as you can, and basically like carry out the favors that you made to the people who gave you big money, right? So what do you need? Well, in any great heist, you need a distraction. You need lots of big distractions. And if you don't give a shit about human life, right? Because you got money and it doesn't touch you anyway, and you don't actually understand how herd immunity works or any of the things, then yeah, putting a complete ape in control of the CDC or the what do you call it, the health,
CDC. No, you're right.
the Secretary of Health.
Well, it's Department of Health, but I mean, that's
Department of
everything.
Health.
So yeah.
But yeah, it's a great distraction. People are so focused on fuck him, fuck RFK, that less people. There's only so much bandwidth to look at shit in a day. So the more fucked up shit you create over here is more that you can do over there, and no one's. It's not that they aren't going to look. It's just going to take them too long to get there because there's all this other shit. So, like, if you open a headline right now, it said RFK went and talked to the Senate, and they were like, "You're a bad boy," and he was like, "I'm a bad boy, but I think I'm right. I'm not. Fuck you." And then nothing happens, right? So tactically, yeah, it's great. He's great at this. Him and his people are fantastic. They're creating distractions left and right. They don't give a shit about a body count. They only give a shit about money and control. And in service of that...
It did force the West Coast states to form a health alliance saying,
we're
not doing that.
I will say this. Like. Gavin Newsom is coming out as as an interesting Democratic figure.
Gavin Newsom is a piece of shit. Fortunately, a lot of his thoughts are aligned with what I tend to agree with at the moment, but I won't vote for him for anything. Nothing.
Really? You'll vote for Trump over Newsom?
He will sell out anyone if it gets him a vote.
So, hold on. You'll vote for Trump over Newsom?
Well, no, that's not a possibility.
I was trying to explain to my...
I just said I wouldn't vote for him for anything. But...
All right, listen. Not being a possibility is not a possibility anymore in this country.
Well, if it was between Newsom and Trump, you pick the lesser of two evils, obviously. But I don't think that'll ever happen. I don't think it's going to be Newsom.
To my daughter the other day, that part of the reason, one of the great strengths of the Republican Party is the fact that they can unite, despite having different opinions, to act as like a battering ram at the Democrats. And the Democrats have never been able to align themselves. They've got so many different flags and so many different focuses that it's basically just divide and conquer. You know, and then
divide ourselves and conquer, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And once you divide and conquer and you smash through the Democrats, then when you're done with them, the Republicans then turn on each other. But they're very good at aligning, even when they disagree, and going, "We're getting behind Hitler because Hitler's going to get us there," right? And then they get to the other end and they're like, "Okay, now we can all shoot at each other, but because we've already dealt with them," right? And it's like the Democrats do half the work. They fight with each other over everything. They can't seem to unify around one person and say, "Hey, listen, this guy's not perfect, but I'd rather him be in the White House than their guy." So, I mean, strategically...
You know what? Yeah? There is a evergreen quote, because you saw The West Wing. There's a part where Ron Silver, hysterically a rabid conservative at the time, even when he was on the show, playing a left-leaning at first media consultant. There's a part where he's in the room with all of them and he's like, "You people are so weak because you gave up and you said, 'Please don't hurt me.'" And that's really the thing, is there is no willingness. My greatest criticism of the left is that the people in charge are so terrified of one bad headline that they won't even stand by anything lest somebody criticize them for having shoelaces that are two different colors. And so they will never win. As long as that is the prevailing methodology, it doesn't matter whether their ideas are right or not because they're too afraid to do anything. And that is the frustration with most people. It's not that they disagree, it's that they realize that one side has the actual spinal fortitude, as you said, to bypass their disagreements temporarily if it serves power, which is what they all ultimately crave.
And to be clear,
the other side doesn't.
I do agree with the Democrats. I do think there's a lot of problems and a lot of things that we have to come at, a lot of things we have to face.
I do too. I mostly agree with them. I don't agree with them on everything, but most of the stuff,
I don't agree with
makes it worse.
Anybody on everything. That's the whole point. What I mean. But when you see a side that is so afraid of their own goddamn shadow, it is infuriating. And it's very clear why they keep losing. And then you look at the thing in New York with the Madami, who they'll eat their own people, even if there's clearly a sentiment for them. If the guy's gonna win, Oh, because they
Then
yeah
you sit in a room with him later and you say, okay, look, realistically, this is not going to work for this. Can we agree that there's certain approaches that can't be the way you think they are because of reality? And most people will be reasonable.
no they will destroy their own guy because that's how it works.
That's it. I mean, they're all just turning on him. You know, it's crazy. And so it's not even political. It's just basic reality, basic political theory divorced of ideology.
Yeah.
Is
Honestly,
you have to be willing to have a stand on something.
I think a lot of this is summed up by oh god, what was his name? Al Franken, right? So Al Franken was senator, right? He was a former SNL comedian, but he was the senator, and he basically during the Me Too movement came out that he had some inappropriate. Was it inappropriate?
Yeah, wasn't there a picture of him fake groping a woman while she was asleep or something?
Yeah, there was like an inappropriate thing that went on with one of his, I think, with one of his staffers or something like that, right?
Yeah.
He didn't rape anybody. Yeah. Let's be very clear, right? It was definitely questionable decision making. I'll give you that.
Sure.
And Al Franken was the first person to be like, you know what? I resign. I did something wrong. I resigned, right? But the problem is that Al Franken was really good at his job. Right? Yeah. And so he's like, no, I live by integrity and I left. And I get it. I understand. And I can respect him. But now you have a spot that's open. Meanwhile, on like the Republican side, someone's like, did you rape that woman? There's proof that you raped that woman. And the politician's like, no, I didn't. I didn't do that. No, it's fake news. Didn't happen. And his people are like, yeah, that's true. Like, you know, and it's that kind of thing. Is it?
Yeah.
Was I recently? There was an article I was reading about how if the Epstein files were released tomorrow and there was like clear proof that Trump was like a pedophile rapist, they'd still support him.
Well, that's okay because he was an FBI informant. Haven't you heard?
Oh man, did you see that?
But that is a perfect. By the way, again, even put ideology aside, a perfect demonstration of what I'm talking about. They figured out a stupid thing that they're going to stick to, no matter what anybody says, and it's their way out. Anything he did, well, he was working on.
And that's the playbook.
And
if
as baldly stupid as that is to anybody with common sense, that this was not something that if it was true, they would have said immediately and released everything demonstrating that. The fact they're coming up with it at the 11th hour, just people will just, oh, okay, yeah, all right, because they'll just keep repeating it. They repeat a lie over and over, and people believe it.
And the annoying part is that, like, I try really hard not to talk politics with my family. But my mother and I do get into it sometimes. And she'll throw lines at me, and I'll be like, dude, I know where that line's coming from. Because I do actually, like, I do try to pay attention to, like, what everybody's saying, like, right, left, whatever. Because there's narratives that get put out there. I mean, we talk a lot about mind control and swaying the populace and things like that. And the thing is, this stuff already exists. I mean, like, we don't need AI for this. We're already doing a pretty good job of it. And there are threads, storylines that people want out there, and they just, they say it enough times on television that it gets into people's heads. And then when somebody has a moment of doubt about something, they sit there and go, oh, wait. But he was an FBI informant. That's what it is. Even if it's not true. And if anything, it kind of taps into that religious mentality where it's like, how can you have a perfectly logical person, who's like, a chemist or something, and then all of a sudden they're like, but there's an invisible man in the sky that watches everything, and if you do something wrong, he's going to put you in a place of fire forever, but he loves you, right? I just showed my kids, by the way. That was the first George Carlin skit I showed my kids.
What a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Because we're starting to pick and choose. We're getting them into stand-up comedy, but I'm like kind of bringing them in little by little. But that was their introduction to George Carlin. But either way, it taps into that kind of logic where you could be completely logical about one thing and then sit there and go, "No, man, invisible man in the sky. It's okay. It's cool." And it's like, no, it's. Everybody is entitled to believe what they want to believe, but when your beliefs start fucking with my day, then I gotta say something. And the invisible man in the sky fucks with everybody's day all the time. He's at the head of the three major religions on this planet.
Well, okay.
And he fucks with everybody's day.
That is not uniformly true. Because there are people of faith who don't bother to ever tell anybody else about it.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But
Not meaning you have to hide it. I'm not saying you have to be underground.
no,
But if you
and that's
don't
the thing.
impose it, I got no issues.
But the problem is, it's still so involved in politics, and still. I mean, you
well,
got
okay.
fucking.
Yes, the
You
great
got
irony
white
is the idea
fundamentalist
that
Christians going, "This is a Christian country." You know, like
Yes.
Texas wants to have prayer in class, but they're trying to figure out how to
Yeah.
write it so that it keeps Muslim prayer out of school.
Well,
And I'm like, dude, I can't wait for the Satanists to get there because they have the best legal battle.
Oh yeah. Well, you did see that this is, and I, you know what? At this point, we're already in it, so who cares? There was a historical, historical and hysterical, I suppose, both at once,
Yeah.
which is kind of a trick. That the NRA came out to defend the gun rights of trans people. Did you see this?
Oh wow! Did they really?
Yes,
Man.
because there was I don't know who was like suggesting that trans people shouldn't
Yeah.
be able to get firearms.
Yeah,
And the
'cause
NRA had to come out to stick with their ideology and be like,
everybody
yeah, we can't support that.
Everybody has a right to guns. You can't start
Which
taking them away.
that's one of those look in the sky and see if pigs are flying moments because you just sit there and go, holy shit, you've gone so far around the bend.
but it's that. But that's the thing. It's that logic. It's like, well, you've done something that these people have to say something about because it ends
Yes.
up in their territory. You know, so it's
Yeah.
like the NRA has to say something. Why? Because it's like, well, yeah, you
But
start
that's-
taking guns away from these people,
Yeah.
and now you can, and now you've set a precedent. What I'm waiting for, see, and this is going back to the whole thing with the not having a spine about things, is that
Yeah.
when the flip eventually happens, which I hope it does, okay, and you get,
The pendulum always goes one way
yeah.
or another. It will.
but the question is, how far will the pendulum swing the other way? And there's people out there.
Yeah.
There's people out there who don't seem to realize the pendulum swings, right? And like, say what you will about, oh man, what's his name? Lindsey Graham. Say what you will about Lindsey Graham, all right? A lot of bad things, but I remember that there was a moment with Lindsey Graham where they were going on about Supreme Court justices, and the Republicans were basically going to pull a trick that blocked, I think it was Obama's pick, and Lindsey Graham said, "Hey, let's just be clear." He goes, "We pull this on them, and eventually they're going to pull this on us." He's like, "I don't know if this is a good idea." Now,
Yeah.
it was maybe it was a moment of sanity, but but that is the thing. It's like anything you pull, like the incredible precedents that have been
I
that has been
completely agree.
that has been set up here with Trump is
Yeah.
going to reverberate down for decades upon decades.
Yeah.
Because what happens when you do get a aggressive liberal president who, you know, I mean, I guess the hope is that, you know, integrity will return to the position. But I mean, what happens when you get a guy that swings the other way and he's like, "Hey, you know what? Healthcare for everybody." And they're like, "You can't do that." He'd be like, "I just did. Fuck off."
I made this exact case to somebody. This is funny you bring this up because I said there is a weird irony, or not irony, I think I said a dichotomy in that the Republican Party in general is both exceptionally good at the long game and exceptionally bad at the long game. Where they're good at it is what we already talked about. They understand that you put your differences aside to get to the end goal of we're in charge, no matter what.
Yeah.
Figure it out later. But in their zeal for having power, what they're establishing is precedent, assuming that no one ever again will be in power that thinks the opposite of them. Because I said, what happens if a hardcore Islamic fundamentalist becomes president? And you can't say it's impossible because, as you said, nothing is impossible anymore.
I'm reasonably sure he'd be assassinated long before he got there. Yeah,
well,
but you know the
but
end
if
goal.
not, you've given him all the tools to power.
But the end goal for the Republican Party is to be the only party. That's
right, and that's where they
the
don't
movement
think
of fascism.
long term.
Fascism is basically where there is nobody else but you. So now you have all the power and you'll have it forever.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas as long as there's another party, you got a problem because it's red versus blue. Yeah, and you're like, oh shit, you know. But they assume that they won't, and that's the thing is they're trying to stack the deck so that they don't. You know. But the idea is that you know what? Here's the truth of it. Everybody dies, and that's beautiful because it means that nothing can get ruined forever. You know, I do worry at the possibility of what there one day being immortality for humans because we don't deserve it. Well, at this point in history, We don't have the responsibility, the long view, nothing. I would wonder how
Yeah.
long a person would have to be immortal before they figured out that most of the shit they did was wrong. Could you imagine if tomorrow Trump became immortal? How long it would take him? How long would he have to go, if ever, before he realized, oh shit, you know what? I think the money is as important as I thought it was. Like, there's so much more going on. So no,
Yeah, I don't know.
we don't deserve immortality. And the nice part
Yeah.
about it is that everybody dies and the board gets
Right.
clear. So every bad man or bad woman or bad person that you dislike, they will die and they'll be off the
Right.
board. And it goes the same way the other way. You know, every Democrat that Republicans hate will die, and every Republican that Democrats die, Trump will die.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
they'll all die. And then it'll clear the board. And the hope is that who comes afterwards will have a clearer view of what's going on in that time. And it may be good and it may be bad because, you know, listen, the board got cleared for Germany and then, you know, someone like Adolf Hitler popped up. But then, you know what?
Yeah.
Adolf Hitler got cleared off the board and Germany is a much better place now. So,
Right.
you know, the key thing here is it's nice when you don't have to live through those periods of history. Right? You have to live through World War II or World War One or live through,
Yeah.
yeah, all
Yeah.
these, listen, nobody wanted to live through COVID. Well, not even further. They wanted to live through COVID, but nobody wanted to be
No,
there.
yeah, I was going to say nobody wanted to end up having to live through COVID, is what you mean.
Right. And but at the end of the day, this is one of the things that kind of brings me like a level of peace with politics, which is I look at it all and I go, yeah, you're all gonna die. It's fine. You can't
Yeah.
rule forever because you know there are
Yeah.
still laws to existence that can't be broken, and one of them is that time rules all. So you
This
know,
is
I look
true.
at these people and I'm like, you guys are slowly melting off your bones here. And
Yep.
we'll see who comes up next. No one can live forever. No one can rule forever. And if any student of history should understand the fact that no regime holds on forever. Some
That's right.
regimes can't hold on for more than a decade or a
Yeah.
few years. Every regime falls. Every regime shifts. Look through history and you'll see great kingdoms that nearly conquered the earth and they're fucking dust now.
Yeah.
Right? Anyone heard from a Roman lately? Right?
Nope.
No, it's just Italy now. You know, at one point they were everywhere and now they are nowhere. They are ruins. Right? And it's that kind of thing is that you it's hard to take a step back. It's kind of and it's a weird kind of cosmic view to kind of step back and see it like that, but it's one of the things that brings me peace. It brings me peace no matter what. You know, I think it works for anybody because you can look at anybody that you're like, that guy's terrible, and be like, you know what, it'd be dead one day, right? And
Yeah.
you'll be dead one day as well. You won't have to worry about this. Now I worry because I
Right.
worry for my kids, and I worry, you know. But the thing is, the pendulum will swing, and I know this because historically, it always has. It has swung back and forth all through time, and it will continue. You know, this country was alcohol free for a while. Think about that shit, right? There was a period in history where you could not drink in this country,
Yeah.
right?
I know.
And now you can drink. Women have the vote. I mean, there was a time women couldn't open a fucking bank account, right? I mean, we are theoretically swinging to progress, but it's a slow climb, and we're gonna have some, you know, missteps along the way. And the other part to remember too is that, you know, you are stuck with your point of view, and you know, to other people, you know, there are people that felt that being under Obama was like the end of the world. You know, what's really funny is the amount of shit that I heard Obama was going to do, right? And then he didn't do it, and then I'm kind of like, where the hell did that come from? You know, like at one point somebody was like, "Oh, he's gonna take all the currency away. He's gonna take all the money. There won't be any money anymore." And I was like, that doesn't even make any sense. You know? And that's the thing is that everyone they throw these and everybody does it. They throw these, you know, ridiculous statements back and forth and they play things up, but it swings. It always swings and everybody dies. And you should feel good about that. Because it means that things get recycled, things get reborn, new people pop up, and there's the opportunity for progress and hope for whichever party you agree with, right? So we are this is a period of history where there are many people that think that this is progress for them, so, but it all moves. And yeah, any other ideas, or did that conclude our political report for the
No, I
last
agree
couple
with
of
everything that
years?
you said. This is the exact point I make to people is,
And by
what
the
gets
way,
put in place for one stays in
I'm
place for
not.
the other. So,
Yeah, I'm not saying not to fight. By the way, like if you believe in
No,
something,
no.
fight tooth
People
and
do.
claw.
People are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tooth and
people are.
claw, tooth and claw. But
Yeah.
don't let it destroy you stress wise. Like if you need a moment to breathe, just remember, everybody
Yeah.
dies.
Yeah. Watch a cartoon.
If that's your jam,
Oh, yeah. We'll watch whatever. Yeah. Yeah, watch whatever you're going to watch.
So yeah, man. I think that's as much about politics as we've gotten to in like forever.
It is. Yeah. And it's mostly just because
Did we just lose half our listener base?
What, 3 people? Yeah, probably. But I don't care. That's fine. You know what? I honestly, I don't. This is one of these things where people talk about, oh, don't get them. There is an element of me going, if you don't know what our politics are just by listening to us, I don't think you're listening to us. I think you can already tell, just because we don't overtly say things. But I think it's pretty clear that both of us are not purely on one side or the other of the fence. We generally seem to lean one way, which I think is true of both of us, but neither of us is completely married. I'm against zealotry of any type, period.
Yes.
Anything.
No, I agree with you. Yeah.
There is no pure anything that I'm going to subscribe to, period.
Yeah, you shouldn't 100% believe in anything. You should always question it. Even the good things. You should always question everything, because there might have been something you missed.
Yeah. I mean, if you pick the right topic, I can probably be placed almost anywhere, but I will probably more typically be... There is a place you can put me dead center to most major religions, which is the death penalty. I'm going to agree with them, because I just heard another thing. I think it's John Grisham just wrote a book saying that he's got cases of innocent people who were convicted and killed. Okay, that's it. I'm sorry, it's over with. You can't have innocent people being put to death. It's over. Scrap it. So that's one area where I'm with the church. Not something you can say about me very often.
Yeah.
But there's one. I'm in alignment on that one.
I'm beginning to shift to a position where I think that they should make them public. I think there should be a longer process. Hold on, there should be a longer process.
No, I'm with you on that. Sure.
To figure it out, so that
No, I agree.
It should take forever to decide on it, but when they
if people saw every facet of how it works,
yeah.
I think people's opinions would change.
Oh yeah, yeah. I told you that in one of the books I was doing. It's like a fantasy novel. One of the ones I did a while ago. There was they used to execute people in a public square in the city with the sledgehammer, and it was awful, and it was terrible. But the whole point of it is that when you saw somebody getting their heads bashed in with a sledgehammer right there, in an official capacity, everyone looked at that and they took it with them, and people were far less likely to do bad things because they looked at that and they were like, "Oh my God!" They're like, "That's gruesome," And I do think that the spectacle of brutality sticks in the memory. But because otherwise, I think I said to you when we did that silly interview thing that trying to understand the human condition is like the only game left in town to me. Because trying to understand the human condition is the idea that let's figure out why we're so fucking brutal. And
by the way,
yeah.
Before I forget, we did do an interview, because I didn't mention it because I'm terrible at promotion. We did do an interview over on friend of the show Aunt Pruitt's YouTube channel. The title is Two Nerds in Their B Movies, I believe. So you can find that if you look for Everyday People Podcast. We're on there, and I have gotten great response on that from listeners of his show. Amazingly, I don't know why. I really don't.
I'm surprised.
I literally, the reason I thought of it is I saw a thing pop up on my phone, and I literally saw a comment. I won't say names because I don't know who wants their names. Never. You both are very original thinkers and make a great team. It is lovely to see two friends who can disagree but still be happy to continue the journey. That is a verbatim quote. So
but we are friends.
Obviously, No, I know. No, No, I mean the whole thing of you and I both don't understand why anybody listens to us. Apparently, there is some reason. There is something. I don't know what it is, but it's there. So, you made me think of it when you said the thing about the silly interview. Yeah, no, I know, but the two of us both are mystified that people have listened for this long.
You know what? I watched Care Bears when I was younger.
I think I did. I don't remember. I remember the song.
I don't remember the song.
Sort of.
I just remember the them running around with the human kids and shooting
bouncing
shit
here
and
and there and everywhere. I remember
that's
that
Gummy
lyric.
Bears, my man.
Is that Gummy Bears?
That's Gummy Bears, yeah.
Gummy Bears had a show?
Yeah, you never watched Gummy Bears?
Well, I guess I must have if I know the lyric.
Yeah, no. There's Gummy Bears, then there's Care
Really?
Bears. Yeah.
Oh.
They're two different
Adventures
entities.
of the Gummy Bears. Wow, I mixed them together.
Yeah. Oh man, what a weird show
I mean,
that would be.
Well, yeah. Oh, they keep getting eaten at the end of the show. Yeah.
Yeah, they had Gummy Bears.
Right. There
they
it is.
they
Adventures
had
of the Gummy Bears for 6 years. It was on. Wow.
They had the weird cocaine juice that made them bounce around, but it made everybody else super strong.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that would explain bouncing here and
The
there.
whole
Okay,
cartoon
well,
built
I don't know.
around drugs, essentially.
Then I don't know if I ever watched Care Bears. I guess I watched Gummy Bears.
You ever saw the Care Bear stare, where they all get together and they shoot like love
Well,
out
no,
of their stomachs?
I sort of remember it, but I guess I don't remember it as much as. Oh, you know what? Okay, this is the thing I didn't. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember that bit of the song. I remember the Care
Yeah.
Bears, like the physicality, the different symbols. I think I had the rainbow one when I was really young. I don't still have it, but I didn't remember that the Gummy Bears cartoon.
I love the disclaimer. I don't still have it.
Well, I don't still, because I do have a lot of silly things, as people who watch the video will see. There's no shortage of silly childhood things behind me, but I didn't realize the the Gummy Bears show. They don't look like gummy bears. They just look like regular.
they're just
bears,
fantasy bear people. Yeah.
which is weird to me because then, what's gummy about them?
They bounce when they take drugs.
Oh, that's the gummy. Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's
they bounce
bizarre.
when they take drugs. Yeah.
That's weirder than anything the Care Bears ever did. Were the Care Bears the one that had the frost enemy?
Yeah,
Was he
it was one of them. I
Freezy
think it
or
was one of
something?
their enemies or something like that. And they when
Okay,
they
then
got
I
together,
remember that because I think I liked him because I liked like Mr. Freeze and that type of stuff.
Shot.
Hold on. I remember them shooting things out of their stomachs too, but what are the enemies? Oh wow, their enemies are cool looking. I should draw some of these. That's some neat looking enemies. Well, I do. There's one that looks like a dark wizard. No Heart. His name's No Heart. Wow. No Heart is the main. Yeah, he's cool. He looks like Orko except evil. Okay. All right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, you know
I
what?
remember him.
Yeah. He's neat looking. Professor
Yeah,
Coldheart.
honestly,
That's what I'm thinking of.
It's kind of
that guy's awesome.
A field of like weird shows. It was like Gummy Bears, Care Bears, and then like Rainbow Bright. I loved Rainbow
Well,
Bright.
Care Bears make sense to be a show because each of them has a power, right? I mean, that makes sense. Gummy Bears, if their only thing was that they take Coke and bounce, that's an odd kids show to make. Yeah. Because again, any kid who ate gummy bears would think they'd look like gummy bears.
And then when the kids, and then like when humans drank it, it made them super strong. And it was like, everyone got coked out. That's what it was.
Wow. Well, it wasn't the 80s.
Yeah, Coke juice,
and it was
man.
a Disney thing. Okay, high fantasy, yeah, high fantasy,
very high fantasy, yeah.
Great skills in magic and technology. The Gummy Glen. Oh my God, look at this! Wow, they were persecuted by humans. This is progressive for a Disney show of the mid '80s.
Yeah, then they hid in a tree.
Yeah, they're wow. Huh. Yeah, a magic potion named Gummy Berry Juice, which allows them to bounce like a rubber ball. So they're speedball. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. It only works on humans once a day. Well, what's the chemistry on that one?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it says unlike the gummy bears, it only works on humans once a day.
You have to sleep it off, I guess. You have to sleep off the Coke high.
Maybe, I guess it's, that first release is the only good one, and then after that...
You know what? It must have been a bunch of guys sitting in a room writing this going, they got this juice they drink. And it makes them bounce around, and humans get really, really strong, and they talk really fast when they take it, and they can only take it like once a day because the high's not as good, you know. And the gummy bears are snorting it. They're like, no, not snorting it, drinking it.
I know where they got their inspiration from.
Just give me the essence of the thing, the juice, you know.
Exactly. Just give me that. Just give me that gummy berry juice.
Just give me the gummy berry juice.
Yeah.
Only that guy could do. If only there are people I hear, and I'm like, God, if there was only a way for me to just pay them some money to say certain lines that I could just have to use, it'd be great. But there's all the people I'd want to do it are either dead or 90 now, so they're not doing it anymore. Their voices sound different. It's just
you know what? Same. I should mention, because I always hate that line, friend of the show, but friend of the show, Matt Snedeker, he was nominated for an Emmy.
Well, he's been nominated before. Was he nominated for an Oscar or some shit? Or Golden Globe, maybe?
No, he was nominated, I mean, probably previously, but this time he was nominated for an Emmy for his audio work on The Bear. And
there it is, sound effects editor. Yeah,
and I don't think he won it. I think he missed out. But he was. I asked him what he thought his chances were, and he was like, "Well, they've won for audio the last 2 times in a row." He's like, "So now that I'm here, he's like, they probably won't win."
Oh, Golden Reel Award. I knew it was Golden something. He's been nominated for a Golden Reel 5 times and an Emmy twice.
Yeah, so he's now an Emmy.
Oh my God, I misread one of them. I thought it said Life and Death of Fred Durst. I was like, holy shit, he did something on the Limp Bizkit singer, but it's Robert Durst.
Oh yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Matt.
He worked on I think he worked on the Jinx.
Yeah, that's what it is. But I only saw the subtitle, and it looked like it said The Life and Death of Fred Durst. And I went, whoa. Okay.
He's worked on a lot of cool shit, so I figured I'd mention that.
He's worked on a lot of good stuff in movies, TV, music. Oh yeah, his name is around.
Yeah, and he builds studios too, which is still very neat.
Oh yeah. So. He worked on Inside Amy Schumer, huh? Well, good for him. No, seriously. I mean, it's nice that somebody we went to art school with is actually successful in their field.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I often talk about the fact that I don't think anybody I was in my graduating illustration class does art.
I don't even think I'm successful. So the fact that someone is successful in their field, I mean, that's like amazing.
There is a non-zero chance that by doing magic cards, I'm the most successful one because our class was so small, which is fucking crazy. But it might actually be true. I hope not. I hope some of those other people are working. The saddest thing to me is that some of those people who were truly gifted artists might not be able to make money at it. It just depresses the fuck out of it.
It's we know that
it depresses me.
It's
I know,
tough.
But that's what I'm saying.
Tough. And people, honestly, as we go on, art gets more sort of belittled. And the thing is, art is
how hard could it be? An AI could do it.
I realized why AI art is so pointless to me. I finally put it together why I'll never do AI art. Why it'll never matter to me, because the idea is that I think I told you this. Somebody was talking about when you read a sentence, right? So a sentence is a man-made invention or a human-made invention, right? It was created by us. Mm-hmm. Sentences don't happen naturally in it's this arbitrary thing.
Words don't happen naturally.
Yeah, exactly. But the idea that the sentence is an invention, most people, their brains don't really go there, right? But it is. We created it. We created it because it is a actualization of our thought process, right? It's the closest I can give you with my words to a thought. I say, hey, I'm thinking about a red giraffe. And now you understand the concept idea of a red giraffe, right? I'm thinking about it. We are creating sentences. We're throwing them back and forth. And they give us a tiny little bit of insight into each other's minds. Right? So you and I have had a lot of insight into each other's minds because we've been talking for so fucking long about everything, right? But especially when you write, I mean, writing is a further actualization where you aren't just speaking a sentence. You are actually putting it down on paper. And that thought is there for people to read and try to connect with. And every time you read a sentence, you are tapping into the author's, thought process, right? They're telling you a story, but you're also getting a vision of the way their brain works, right? Now, that's the literary form, but every time you see that the way somebody paints something, you are seeing through the lens of their imagination, right? Sure. When you actualize, what was your name? Was it not Mordred? What was your name? The magic card you did.
Oh, Sheldred?
Sheldred. When you actualize that, right? We are seeing Sheldred through your lens. It is unique. Yeah. It has come through your mind. And here's the thing. For your mind to get here, For you to be here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You are sitting on the fucking mountain of human existence. Your parents had to meet. Their parents had to meet. Their parents. So you know the amount of people who had to live, have sex, and survive long enough to keep their kids alive, and then those kids to go on. Like your
Yeah.
very presence is an incredible survival story of the human race. Here you are. It's incredible. And through the lens of your imagination, you are showing me this image which is sitting on so much. Why would I give two shits about something a computer processes? I am not tapping into its psychology. It's
Yeah.
not showing me anything new. Maybe if it's a full AI that has thoughts and feelings of its own, I'll give a crap. But till then, no, it's fucking pointless. Art is all about connecting with other people and their minds and how that connects you to their history, to the history of all of the human race. Right? We don't think about it on that scale, but that's the scale of it. You know, it's amazing that any of us are here. And so when we create art, it's connection. You know, we listen to music because it gives us this pleasing feeling. But how often have you listened to a song and felt that somehow it connected to something you were going through? Even though that artist had nothing to do with you, you've never met them, right? This song came out in the 70s, right? And you listen to it and you're like, wow, that song really, I really get that song, right? It's human connection. Somebody had an experience and they recorded it in whatever artistic way they could. A song, a book, a photograph, an illustration. They made a ceramic sculpture. They knitted a bear. They made they made a blanket. Any number of just artistic expressions. And then you encounter it at some point and you go, wow, you know what? I kind of feel that. Right? It's art is all human connection. And as we belittle art and try to turn it into something that's easily marketable and controllable, we are belittling human connectivity and the human experience.
I don't disagree at all.
I'm glad you don't.
I have nothing to add to it. I think you covered it entirely. So there's nothing for me to add to it. I agree.
Yeah.
This is the. I've said this countless times. I'll say it again. I am not inherently against any of these things, but I have yet. I finally found. Okay. So there's two parts to this. First is I think the biggest mistake that many people who are in the creative community make is I've already said I'm against zealotry. This applies all over the place. I saw people were posting this shirt that just said AI is for hacks and fascists. And they were all gleeful about it. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. That is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Because you're not distinguishing what you're talking about. What you should be saying is creative AI is for hacks and fascists. But AI is a blanket. What?
So I'm going to add to this, your AI thing. Because I just had a person in an official capacity give me a statement on AI that I thought was quite funny. So, for now, I am back in a form of school. And I had and I had a teacher, professor, talking about the use of AI in the class, right? And normally it's no AI, fuck AI, right? But this teacher said, you know what? If you use it, cite it. And they said, I know that kind of goes against what a lot of people are saying, but here's the thing. They said, once upon a time, Wikipedia came out, and we were like, don't use it. And then eventually the school was like, just cite it. And they were like, that's the way I see it. If you're going to use it, cite it. Be honest that you're using it in the capacity that you're using it. And that is the key thing, because a lot of people just want to type in some facts and then just have an essay pop out and not have to work. And to those people, I say you're wasting your education. But I did think it was interesting that this teacher's position was basically, if you're going to use it, just cite it. Let me know what you did. Right. And it's that kind of thing is if you actually have to explain what you did with it, it's almost like you get yourself in more trouble. right?
Well, what it does is it may reveal how much actual effort you're putting into it.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So
but
I'm sorry. I'm
but
sorry
my
to interrupt.
point was, no,
I just wanted to add to that.
no, that's fine. No, but my thing was you're generalizing, and
Yeah.
that's the wrong way to do it. Is not to say that this thing has no utility. Be specific about what you're talking about, which is yes, what you were talking about, the human element of art. That AI is completely absent in, because the biggest I'll be so sorry, subtitle or subfolder under this. One of my biggest issues with generative AI, meaning the creative stuff, because I'll noodle around with it just to see if it ever gets past this basic failing, which it never has, is for me as a creator, I know what parts I want to achieve in whatever I'm putting together. Now, whether I can actually get there myself in the way I see it in my head, well, that's the challenge of getting it out of your head and onto something else. But I know the parts. And the problem with most of these advanced, with quotes around it, tools is it can't repeat itself. You can't tell it to just alter one thing. It alters several things because it can't figure out what you're talking about because it's not alive. And as of yet, even the top end stuff, because they all let you try them for free, because they assume you'll be so dazzled that you'll eventually pay. So you can try any of this stuff for free, by the way, everybody. You can try these tools, even though you'll see prices of $200, all this crap. You can try them for free on a limited basis. Try it. And what you're going to find is you can't get repeat results. It keeps varying things because it has no creative vision. And so that's the ultimate failure point for me. I'll mess around with it.
Yeah, but that's it.
And there's parts of it that are impressive, but
it's the creative vision that makes connection.
Yeah, it's a creative dead end. So that part is where they should be saying creative AIs for hacks and fascists. I'm fine with that. Like, that is a pretty defendable statement. But when they just say AI, that throws out analysis of cancer results. That throws out the ability to spot patterns where a human might miss them. Things that are beneficial because they are not creative tasks, they're analytical tasks. And machines, sorry everybody, do tend to be better at that. Analyzing data sets is something that drives most people insane.
Now,
and they eventually lose focus and interest most of the time. Some people are built for it, but they're rare. Most people do not do well with large data sets.
This is a great segue for our Alien Earth review.
Oh, okay. Sorry, but I did want to point out.
No, go ahead.
I did find a tool that seemed like it potentially would be useful for me. It's something called N8N.
Yeah.
And all it does is I came up with this idea. I was talking to people who use it. And I said, well, okay, so if I wanted to put a movie into this thing and have it search every week and tell me if the movie becomes available to stream or download or whatever, would it do that? And they said, yeah, I could do that. And to me, I'm like, that's harmless as far as run it once a week and say, here's some weird German film from a German expressionist film from 1924 that nobody's ever seen. I pop that thing in there and say, once a week, I want you to check. If this ever comes up, email me. Oh, perfect. Man. The first viable use. And it's nonsense. It's dumb, but it's a utility.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all I wanted to point out is that's why when people say things like that, zealotry is always going to be a problem for me.
That's far more nuance than we fucking want there to be.
Yes.
There's far more nuance. Yeah.
Yes. Anyhow, yes, Alien Earth. Yes, Alien Earth. We have watched. Oh, no, this is the movie. I'll play the thing for the other one. This is a little different.
These reviews are different.
Yeah, this is its own thing. So Lando and I have watched the first half of Alien Earth. The first 4 episodes. It's 8 episodes in season 1.
And I want to preface this. I was done with Xenomorphs and Alien. I was done completely.
We all knew. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck that movie. Still. And the thing was that Joe watched Alien Earth, and his review, as well as
because you said you watch it. You tell me if you think I want to watch it. I'm like, okay,
your review on top of some of the more trusted reviews, like places that I kind of trust their reviews. They said the right things to me that I was like, okay. And I think it was things that basically like Ridley Scott's not really involved. It's the same guy that did Legion. He has a story idea. It doesn't have to connect to everything else. And some of the descriptions about how the xenomorph is, was somebody said the humans are the real villain in this series, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm curious now, and I said to Joe, you want to watch these again, and Joe is 100% up to watching these again with me.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I think that it is, after Alien and Aliens, I think it is the best xenomorph property that is out there. Even if even if they don't stick the landing, it's still better than fucking like all the prequels, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, the level of intelligence in the writing for this is just off the chart. Even when you think it's being dumb, then you stop and you go, okay, wait a minute. It's not being the writing isn't being dumb. You've got dumb characters doing dumb shit. Like, there's a level of the examination of like human frailty in this is incredible. Especially in like there's some poor decision making that you can stop and go, well, that's poor writing. Or you can let it and go, no. This makes logical sense to me. Somebody is blinded by this, so they don't realize what they're doing. So yeah, I think that the writing is great. It's a shame about the gore factor, because I would love to share this with more people, but the gore factor is so high in certain instances that like my wife won't even come near this. I explained to her the sequence with the cat, and my wife
I
was
knew
like,
that would be the end for your wife.
Oh yeah, I mean, and then I was like,
it would probably be for mine too, and she doesn't even like cats that much. But
no, but it was it's just the gruesome. And honestly, I mean, like
Yeah.
it is gruesome, but it's kind of gruesome within the
yeah.
context. I mean, when that fucking sheep tries to stand up on two legs, I mean,
yeah. The sheep I knew was going to be a hit with you, because I'm like, God,
this shit's hilarious. But like I said, the writing is so intelligent and kind of like, this is a well done way of showing reverence for previous work while not being enslaved to it. Because in the first like the 2 episodes, there's a lot of homage to Alien and Aliens, and they do it with the music too. They do these interesting callbacks where if there's a scene that's a direct like kind of homage to something, they play like a beat of the music. So you're like, oh, wait a minute, that's the pulse rifle, or that's this, or that's that. It's like, and then it kind of goes away. And then as they get into territory that's their own, the music shifts into their music, which is different from the previous movie. So I mean, like to the degree that the music is part of the storytelling, like it's just I'm surprised at how well it is put together. I mean, you said it best, and you said this show's gonna be canceled.
yeah.
Because it's just too good. As it happens.
Right.
And Westworld has 2 really good seasons up front, right? And I read that it started to drag after that. And I haven't watched them. And I realized that for me, a show like Westworld ends. Westworld for me ends when she gets off the island. I'm good. That's it. That's the completion of that story. If you think about it as like a book, right? Westworld season 1 and 2 are really about. Is her name Rose? Is that was her name?
Was it Daisy? No, what was her name?
Or was it? I can't remember.
I don't remember, but yeah.
Yeah, but basically the main replicant. It's the story of how she comes into her own, and she gets off the island, and it concludes.
Dolores.
There you go, Dolores. It's Dolores getting off the island. Now I know there's a whole bunch of other shit that went off with Dolores off the island, and it's fascinating. I'm interested, but honestly, if it didn't really go that well, then you know what? I have these 2 seasons, and I could just stop there. It's a complete story for me, and my hope is that Alien Earth, that was it Noah Hawley, I think his name. Is that he's got a plan, right? And that he can tell the plan in as few seasons as possible. Not because I'm not enjoying it, but because, I worry that it just won't get finished. And most shows can get away with like 2 seasons before the hammer comes down. And the more intelligent a show you've got, the more on the chopping block you seem to be. So like, Yeah, but I know that that drives you crazy if there's no kind of end to it. Even if this show
Yeah.
ends on a cliffhanger, I will have enjoyed the journey because it's clever. I mean, so much of what they've done is I didn't expect it. I mean, pushing the fact that the xenomorph is not the biggest problem in this. I mean, it's not even in like the top three. I mean, there's the xenomorph, there's the eye bug, there's the space ticks, there's the fact that you've put children's minds in robot bodies, right? And you've got the corporates at war with each other. You got a cyborg on the rampage trying to get his samples back, right? There's so much going on. I mean, the fact that on the fourth episode, somebody finally said the thing about the replicant children that I was wondering when he was like, did we just convince 6 robots that they had the minds of children and kill 6 children?
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, he said the thing I was thinking. I was like, that's fantastic. Like, that never happens when you're watching a show and you're like, hey, what about this? And usually it's like a plot hole and it's just kind of let be. But when somebody actually stands up and goes, hey, what about this plot hole philosophically? And you're like, oh my God, they heard me. So, yeah, I am fucking surprised at how much I am enjoying this. And you know what this is like the universe getting back at me for being that passionate about the fucking the prequels. I was so angry about them. And then it's like the universe was like, you know what? We're going to give you something nice. Here you go. Here's Xenomorphs done right. So, yeah, I mean, you did your review already. We did a review already, didn't we?
Yeah, I did my first half spoiler-free review where we didn't really talk about it.
This is
I didn't talk about it with spoilers. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, spoilers. Yeah,
Well,
and the fact that there's...
I did talk... Yeah. Had I watched all 4 episodes when I talked about it last time?
I think you did. Yeah, you haven't watched the 5th one yet.
All right, so I did. We talked about some of the elements, but I mean, we didn't talk in depth about it because there were things I wanted you to experience, like I don't know if I talked about the sheep standing on 2 legs or not. I don't remember.
You didn't tell me. You didn't tell me that stand out, but the fact that like it's looking at them and someone's like, "Oh, it's just a sheep again," and they're like, "That's not a sheep." Look at its brain functions.
Yep, that's not a sheep.
I know that in episode 5, the eye bug gets into a person, and I'm actually quite excited to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
Because man, I want a xenomorph replicant by the end of this, because I mean, I think I said that in one of the episodes we were watching it, but like I want them to try and to make a replicant and put like a human mind in it, so that you've got an alien running around talking like a human. I mean, how fucking hilarious would that be? They did it in the comics. It was a Dark Horse in the Labyrinth, and there was a character Jerry, and they were using him to basically farm the xenomorphs. They had an artificial like environment, and they had Jerry going in and basically stealing eggs. But I mean, I'm just trying to think of all the weird, interesting shit they might do. But it is very interesting. There's no character in this show that feels like a waste. Everybody has a point. Everybody has a position.
Yeah.
And you're not 100% sure what anybody's going to do. Right? I mean, and it's getting scary. I mean, by episode 4, I think I said we were like joking around by the time we finished episode 4 that there are multiple points of failure growing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when that redhead replicant girl goes like ape shit for a second, I was like, I was like, oh man, I was like, this is gonna go so poorly.
I think I'm pretty sure that's the notation I put on that commentary thing. I'm like, we start to see the cracks in the world forming. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I said.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the description.
So, I mean, the first episode is very cleverly a throwback to Alien, right? They give you a lot of Alien and Aliens, right? They try to pull in the people who like the original 2, right? And that's very intelligent. And then from that point on, they start getting into their weird shit. But I mean, the gore is fantastic. That when that fucking xenomorph goes into that the French nobleman party or the costume party, whatever it's called. Yeah. I mean, it just rips those people apart. Like I am surprised at the level of like gore that FX can put on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Yeah. So what? All right, what elements do you want to get into? Because I can just fawn over it for a while if you want.
Well, I think the primary things I did touch on this before, which is that the alien is the least terrifying thing, which I say is a positive.
No, the thing
They
is,
just treat it as an animal. That's
he's
it.
quite
It's
dangerous
a wild animal.
in the first like 2 episodes, but I mean he gets decapitated with a paper cutter.
Well, but that's what I'm saying is
Yeah.
the kind of idea that it's invincible, the way that the movies often treat it at, like the movies all,
Yeah.
to some degree or another, make it that thing can't be beat till the end. Like, it's going to get beat at the end, but the whole movie is them just trying to live.
Well, Cameron's point of view was, he said, they already did one alien in a ship with people. He's like, I've got Marines with machine guns. He's like, what makes that scary? I got to have numbers. And so the Xenomorphs were scary because there were so many of them. There was a horde,
sure.
But,
but even so, when it gets to the end, it's one big one against one woman with a gun. So that's, again, they drill it down to...
With a suit.
Well, but before that, before she puts the suit on, or gets into it, puts the suit on, like she throws it on, before that, it's still this thing where, oh shit, you're going to lose. Like, this thing is going
the
to...
odds are against you,
The movies basically structure it that way. This thing is so imposingly powerful that you either need numbers or, a suit, or
luck.
You need to shoot it out of an airlock. You can't even really hurt it. You have to shoot it out, which is, it's just dumb and doesn't know what you're not dumb. It doesn't know what you're doing.
What's his name? Hicks shoots that thing in the elevator and it burns half his face off.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
So it's like,
and
you can't let them get anywhere near you.
And then the third one, they have to coat it in metal and hit it with water to blow it up.
Yeah.
And it still kills most of them in the process. It's not like they even all have a victory dance.
No.
So this, basically, it's running around, but it could easily be a lion, a cougar. It could be any wild animal that somebody's not familiar with in terms of how it operates.
Yes.
Because the reality is, if those people knew what it was, because it's an alien, if they knew what it was and knew how it moved, they would just line up and shoot it, and they would kill it from afar. They would gun it down. But they don't know what it is. So it's like if somebody puts you in a room with a wild animal that you don't know anything about.
And you told me about the sneaking. The sneaking is very good. They put that thing all over the place. They had fun with that.
Yes. I did say it's often in the background, and you don't realize it until it moves because... And the nice part is they do it in a smart way. So there's a scene where they keep showing this sculpture in the background. And you see it a few times so you get used to it.
Yeah.
And then it just looks slightly different because it's a little bit taller. And then it moves. And you're like, oh. Or that it's on the ceiling, but it's blended in with the cables and because it's a damaged ship. So you think it's just debris. And then it moves. And you're like, oh, shit. That's very smart. I like that a lot. But it gets taken down multiple times. It gets shocked and then frosted.
I think that's the thing. When the cyborg walks in and just hits it with like the super taser and the thing drops on the ground, you're like, oh, wow, Morrow's got this. He's got this under control.
Right. That's what I mean. Is it demythologizes the power of the alien because
demystifies it.
Demystifies it. Yeah, because then Wendy hooks it by the mouth.
Oh
whatever.
Yeah. The mouth dick.
And tears that off. Yeah.
And then can't get her with the tail because she's pulling on it. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, she hand-to-hand combat she martial arts fought it with a weapon, right? And it did fucking crack her head. I mean, she did need to be repaired. So they basically fought to a standstill. It damaged her and she killed it. So
well, my assumption is we might see what my feel of that from the sound was that it threw her into the door by the head, and then she jumped and decapitated it, and then was just standing there. Yeah, there's a loud thump, and I think it's used to throwing people around with its tail. We see it. Yeah, that's her head, and so that was her last kind of desperation move.
Yeah, but the thing is that I think the replicants are going to be the big scary part of this because everything the replicant children are doing. Are the synth children? What do we call them? The hybrids? They're
called hybrids. That's what the
hybrids.
Show
Everything the hybrids are doing is scary, and the people up at top don't seem to be fucking listening to the scientists that are like, "Hey guys, this is dangerous." Like Wendy's not listening.
I do like the show. The show defines right in the beginning, here's the 3 types of things you're going to be dealing with. Cyborgs, which are enhanced humans.
Yep.
Synths, which are Ash, Bishop,
fully.
Kirsch, David. And then hybrids are the new thing.
Yeah, which is
and
basically
the show is very clear about they don't know what they don't know what they are. They keep saying, you have to tell us if this has worked or not. We don't even know if this worked. And that's something that I think they gloss over at first. You don't really think about it, but this is untested except for now. And once they got one to work, they just did it again without really knowing whether that first one even worked.
Yeah.
Which is a very kind of founder mentality when you're like, oh, it works, so now we can just keep doing it. It's like, wait, but we didn't actually, the one guy says, we're not doing science anymore. We didn't test this thing.
They've got children's minds, and the children's minds are fracturing in different ways. So Wendy's attached herself to her living brother, and is basically and it's kind of at odds with the people who own her because she has a human brother. You've got the other guy, Slightly, who's basically being manipulated by the cyborg because he's a child, and the cyborg is a fucking lethal smooth operator, right? Yeah. And then you've got, and then you look at the other ones. There's the 2 that are really smart that are desperately trying to like impress different people. So the one guy who calls himself Isaac now, he's trying to impress Kirsch, and the other girl wants to impress Boy Genius. And then you've got the redhead who was attacked and seems to be the most kind of like docile of the bunch. She was attacked. She's traumatized. And the thing is, you have the theory that the eye bug did something, whereas I think she's just fucking traumatized. I think she's a traumatized child in a like super attack cyborg body or a replicant body.
You could be right.
Here's the thing: children act out. Children will hit you. They'll get annoyed and they'll run at you and they'll smack you. Like there's a period of time where like that's what children do. They are children. They're not thinking.
The only thing that I'm still kind of like I don't know is that.
It thinks that
the
it's a
trauma
baby?
thing doesn't translate to the pregnancy part.
The baby
is a weird
thing, I'm having a baby.
And the fact that they show that, that's
when she walks in and she starts talking about it, I'm like, oh man, you guys are in trouble now.
Yeah. But there is also an element of, okay, you can't tell when she says, I don't want to talk about that maybe you should back off a little bit. I don't know if that woman is supposed to be a psychologist.
No, you know what?
She doesn't seem to read signals very well.
No, here's the thing, though, is that she's been so docile up to this point. I think that's the bigger thing, is that girl has never been that aggressive. So
but then when she kicks the book out of her hand, and then she says again, I don't want to talk about that, then stop. Oh, yeah,
listen, it's for the sake. Listen, it's for the sake of drama.
Well, right. That's what I mean. Is,
and then she's like,
or I don't even know if it's drama, or is that woman also underestimating what she's dealing with?
Yeah,
and is not taking the proper kind of precautions.
I don't know. Children in a weapon. It's what it is. It's children in a weaponized body.
Right.
And the fact that she doesn't have a panic button in her pocket at all times is a miscalculation.
Yeah. Well, she has a panic button, but it's like you said, she has to get to it.
Yeah, exactly. So there's so many points of failure, and you've got a basement full of basically alien parasites that want to get out and eat people and glob onto people, right? And Kirsch, who's the main synth there, I don't even know what his deal is. Like, is he?
Well, I will say this.
Yeah.
I don't know if they all want to kill people. I actually expect.
Yeah.
That the bug one, the one that bugs you.
Yeah.
No pun intended. I will not be shocked if that thing opens up and everybody cowers and it just goes right by them and starts chewing on a leaf, because we don't know that they're all carnivorous. So that would actually be really funny if the thing breaks out. Everybody's terrified. And it goes over and starts chewing on a leaf or a piece of paper.
Well, the thing, it's an animal.
You know what I mean?
So if it's not in a reproductive cycle, then it's not going to go after people.
Well, but the other ones, as far as we know, the what do you call? Reproductive cycle in general. But I will just find it funny if we make the assumption that they're all dangerous and one of them is completely harmless.
Well, listen,
it will make a funny moment.
Oh, you mean the big bug that hasn't gotten out yet?
Yeah. The
Yeah,
big
yeah,
bug.
that
If
one.
that
Yeah, well, they
thing's
have no
thing
idea,
falls
yeah.
over, and the glass breaks, and everybody like pulls their guns out, and they're all terrified, and it just kind of goes past them, and it starts chewing on like I don't know, a piece of paper. And they're like,
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
never mind.
Yeah,
And then
but
an alien
listen,
bursts out and rips
but
one
I
of their
mean,
heads off.
the
Right after.
iBug, they have managed to find something that is like as scary as a xenomorph.
The eye bug fascinates me because,
It gets in your head. It takes over your nervous system. Like,
well, that's the thing is, do we even know that thing knows what it's doing?
no,
Or is that
that's
the only way it knows how to operate?
Is it intelligent? Is it not intelligent? Is it instinctual?
Well, they say it's
like,
highly intelligent, but in what way?
Yeah, exactly.
Does it understand harm, or on its planet, is this a symbiotic relationship where when it attaches, you're fine?
Oh, is it like
with whatever
like
the life
Dex?
forms there are? Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, it's just a gruesome way to go in, isn't it?
Here's an interesting angle. What if the planet it's on, most of the animal life has no vision? It provides the vision and sees the world through what the creature sees. And so they basically form a single entity.
As of this
Possible.
moment, it's an interesting theory. We've only seen 4 episodes.
But I seriously doubt it because I don't think that's where the show is going. I think the show is going full-bore horror.
No, I think I think at the end of this, the whole most everyone is dead.
These are dinosaurs. These are the dinosaurs that they should have brought on to Earth. And
And everyone's dead, and the island gets nuked. That's what I think happens at the end.
Well, that's the other way to be sure.
Yeah, I think I don't know who's walking away from this. I hope Wendy and her brother do, because Wendy seems quite sweet. But here's the other problem with Wendy is that Wendy, for all intents and purposes, she's a robot who thinks that she's a little girl. And here's the argument for it. She's not a little girl. She is a synth. Nope. She has a synth body. There's nothing little girl about her anymore. Regardless of where she began, she is now a synth. Right? So she in herself is dangerous. And the fact that they've given her these high-level computer hacking abilities, which have opened up all kinds of weird things. I mean, she's the only one that can talk to the xenomorphs at this point. So, she is kind of dangerous because...
Well, okay, not only can she talk to them, they chose me.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's psychology. They chose me. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's...
What will happen if she realizes they're trying to figure out how to talk to them without her? Then what does she do?
Yeah, well... I don't know. There's just this level of danger. So that's the thing is it's called Alien Earth, but I mean, is it that the Earth seems so alien to us? Because it's really not about the xenomorph. The xenomorph is a part of the cast, but it's not the whole show. Yeah. And I love that. I love that they've opened it up to the wider universe. I mean, they teased that there was other extraterrestrial life in Aliens when they were joking about the prostitutes. What do you call them?
Yeah. Except yours was a man.
Yeah, and he was like, it doesn't matter,
it doesn't matter when it's a Denovian or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like there is a bit of a Star Trek universe out there. It's just kind of a mean Star Trek universe,
Well, yeah, because anything that's a xenomorph type is a bug hunt. I mean, that's what they say. It's a bug hunt.
So there have been bug hunts,
which
they wouldn't have a term for it.
Is the inference that those are mindless animals as opposed to the ones they sleep with?
Yeah, exactly.
So clearly there are intelligent and non-intelligent aliens that are known.
Yeah,
but that's also 70 years, 70
later.
Plus years from this show.
Yeah, exactly, because Aliens is long after Alien.
So in actuality, now that I think about that, that means that they might actually have learned something from what happens in this show, and that's why they know these things are out there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this can... I actually think that this show can connect very well with the greater sort of mythology of it, because, of course, if they knew what it was, they would desperately want the one on Ripley's ship, right? Because if they can't find another colony, if they're looking for them, they can't find them. Then yes, the fact that Ripley is connected and knows. Then they're desperate. They want it. I'm kind of surprised they didn't send more corporate in the second and Aliens.
It lends a lot of weight to your idea that they all get nuked because Yutani will have known they had this thing and they lost it.
Yeah.
And so they want it again.
And they'll have just enough information about it to whet their appetite that they want it.
I also love the fact that Boy Cavalier says, no, I can't possibly give this back because what do I want to do? Wake up one day with a xenomorph in my chest? Like, he knows right away what they're going to do with
Yeah.
this thing.
I give them credit with him. He's one of these classic geniuses in the fact that he is very smart. And in some ways, he's ahead of the game.
Well, okay.
But emotionally,
I don't know how smart he is. He has a lot of money.
Yeah, well, no.
This is the Elon Musk problem. How smart he really is, we don't know.
He does come off like, so he was saying how he makes the bodies, right? I do think that he is very intelligent. I think that, but he suffers from that problem, is that he misses the sort of messy emotional things.
I'm going to withhold whether I believe he even makes the bodies, or when he says, I make the bodies, does he make them? Or did he hire a bunch of people and tell them what he wanted?
Yeah. So he knows enough. Because
that's a big thing, is taking credit for it.
Yeah, he knows enough to use Wendy's brother to manipulate Wendy, right?
But remember, we've gotten a clue. He fucked up the Bradbury quote. Remember?
Oh, yeah, he did. He did.
That's intentional.
And that is
to get us to understand something.
That he doesn't know everything, yeah.
And sorry, it's Arthur C. Clarke. He says it was Asimov, I think.
He said it was Asimov. I thought it was Bradbury, and it was Arthur C. Clarke, yeah.
It was Arthur C. Clarke. So that is a distinctive storytelling indicator.
Yeah.
I thought of this from devs, where it's wait a second.
I'm curious if that's become a thing, if anyone's said anything.
Oh, if people seized on that?
Yeah. Because immediately we were like, wait a minute, who said that? That wasn't Asimov.
Well, we want to check because I don't believe anything this motherfucker says. Let's see. I'm just going to look up Asimov.
Yeah, some
misattribution of a quote. Okay. Yeah, we all know this is the billionth post about it. It was intentional.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, there you go. So that is specifically a detail about
Here it is.
Character's
I thought it was perfect. Showed that little shite isn't half as smart as he thinks he is.
Yeah. There you go. See.
Yeah.
And all the non-science fiction that people are sitting there going, "What's the point?" I don't know. He misquoted something. It happens all the time.
His arrogance will be his undoing.
Yeah, and
it reminds me of guys like Alex Jones that make up quotes and attribute them to famous people in history all the time because their crowd won't call them out.
So he's using Wendy's.
What an arrogant little turd is the one comment. Excellent.
He's using Wendy's connection with her brother to manipulate her, but he doesn't realize that same connection could bring Wendy to kill him. Like he's now playing with forces. When he sends the synths in, right? I thought he was just going to send Wendy in. I didn't realize he sent in 6 fucking under adolescent age children in weaponized bodies just for shits and giggles to see what happened. Now, granted, he didn't know the level of alien infestation on the ship, right?
Right.
But it's like, dude, don't you... I wonder if he doesn't care about trauma, because they have said that they can control hormone levels. They have some artificial manipulation of these kids. So I wonder if... there's a question of how much can they control them. Because, I mean, they even said that they were trying to kind of limit their... the way their minds work hormonally, because... they want them to have some kind of abbreviated life cycle up to maturity.
Yeah.
Right? I remember them saying that, because they were like, well, they said to Wendy that they were going to adjust her numbers or something like that. So maybe they think that they can fix any problem that comes up. But I mean, the redhead, she is traumatized. She is, there's something up with her.
So, she's been altered. I don't know if trauma is it or what, but she is altered. Yeah. As a result of her encounter, something has fundamentally changed.
Yeah, and Boy Genius is setting them up against each other.
Well,
right?
I just ran across something interesting in Reddit here, which is a commonality. Somebody said in that same one about the misattribution, a buddy of mine has a theory that the Boy Genius was actually the result of a transfer of consciousness from an older person to a child. Maybe some kind of underground illegal tech that worked in a once in a lifetime situation. The child proved to be smart beyond its years and also had understanding of whatever this tech was, so people assumed they were a genius. These latest experiments with the hybrids and possibly black goo or other alien tech are to figure out how to live forever, while also being the most powerful being alive, both mentally and physically. Part of this comes from the fact that the other person who misattributed a quote was David, who attributed the Ozymandias quote to Byron, when in fact it was Shelley. And I didn't think about the
Oh,
David
and oh, you know
connection.
what? And I almost texted you the other day and said, watching this show, they're distracting you with all the Peter Pan shit, but what you're really watching is Frankenstein.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
text that to you, and
Yeah.
I was like, no, wait, I'll tell him the show. And yeah, you just reminded me. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fuck. There's so much Frankenstein going on here, but they're not saying it. They keep going on about Peter Pan and living forever, but really, he's made a whole bunch of monsters, and he doesn't know how to fuck to control them.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's got it under control, but it's getting out of control. And he's getting distracted now, where he's like, well, I want to play with the alien parasites and the immortal children, you know. And it's like, you know, this island is gonna. There's gonna be fireworks. I expect fireworks.
Somebody said, I hope the end of this whole show is that Wendy gets the pet alien and it's her and the alien like Mandalorian and Grogu. Well, that would be an ending. That would be an
weird.
ending.
Oh, if
I
Wendy
wouldn't
leaves.
mind it.
If
Yeah,
Wendy
she
gets
takes off with a little
basically,
alien.
oh my
Yeah, she has
god,
a pet alien.
If she took the alien and she left.
Well, that's,
My
I mean,
God.
this is going to be a
That'd be-
very, 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 very specific reference, but that's Metroid 2. Anybody who remembers playing Metroid 2 on the Game Boy, you never played Metroid, right?
No, I didn't. I played
Okay.
Metroid on Nintendo.
The Nintendo. All right, so
Yeah.
if you remember, the Metroids were the villains. They were the enemies,
Yeah.
those big brain things. You never wanted to get touched by them. And Samus
Yeah.
was a woman in the
Yes.
end. That was the big shocker. Oh my God, there's a woman
It's a
under there in a
girl.
bikini. Because, you know, she has to be in a bikini. But anyway, in the second game, she goes back into this planet that's been taken over, and she ends up finding an egg with a little Metroid in it, a baby one. And instead of it attacking her, it just gloms onto her as its mother. And then she leaves with it because it attaches itself to her. So that's basically Metroid 2. So when somebody says that, I'm like, oh, so like Metroid 2 then. Very, very specific reference.
Yep.
Unfortunately,
I can
that baby
honestly say-
alien dies in Super Metroid, which is sad, but it does.
I can honestly say I don't know where this is going. I don't think it's going to be a good place, but I don't know where this is going.
Yeah. I don't even.
And that's good. I like it when I know where it's going. And
Yeah.
I can appreciate it because there's obviously some very intelligent writing going on here.
And Timothy Oliphant is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to like his weird low mumble voice, but the whole character has grown on me. His whole thing where it's like he's unassuming, and that's honestly, he is the gray man. I mean, like when you look at him, he's always dressed in gray. He doesn't seem impressive, but like when he gets into the situation, I mean, I think the moment I realized that Kirsch was trouble was when the cyborg's got the gun. He's got the two like kid synths, and Kirsch shows up, and Kirsch just quietly rotates them until the cyborg is standing in the eggs. And I'm sitting there going, did Kirsch know? Because Kirsch read the reports. He was like speed reading through everything. So did Kirsch know that they were reactive to biological tissue? And did he reposition the situation? Because the second that Morrow looks down and realizes where he is, he has to run. He can't stay and fight. He has to run because these things are going to get him. And I'm like, oh, geez, is that Kirsch being just very clever? Or is it just by happenstance that Morrow didn't realize what he was? But I don't believe that because I feel like Morrow always knows where he is. That's why he's such a solid player in this. I think Morrow got outplayed. And I think Morrow is continuing to be outplayed because Morrow thinks he's got control of that one synth kid and doesn't realize that Kirsch is listening to all of it. And I think he's going to let it happen just to have a reason to get somebody infected to see what happens. Because, I mean, I know they put it in that lung, but I mean, he's a scientist and he has this philosophy about how, you know, humans will always be part of the hunter-prey cycle, and that, you know, it's like you realize that you're not meat anymore, but the fear is that you are meat. And then when he takes the kids on the ship, he looks at them and he says, "Hey, you are not prey." He's like, "Remember that." You know,
You are not an animal.
You're not an animal, right? Yeah, you're not animals. It's like, yeah. So his performance is amazing. Like, yep, I'm enjoying it.
somebody, because my other big thing is what are the guys in the suits cleaning the walls doing?
Yeah, I hope that
And
pays off.
somebody has a
there's
really
theories?
good suggestion that makes
What's
complete sense to me. That's when they tried it on adults and it didn't take, so all they're good for is cleaning up. That's their first attempts to transfer minds of adults. And they're just stuck.
Because it's an old guy, isn't it?
Well, you said it might not be all the same guy.
Yeah.
But would it be interesting if they tried different adults in the same body until they figured out it wouldn't work? So they're all different minds of adults that couldn't function past basics.
Well,
remember,
honestly,
Boy Cavalier's big thing is I want a super intelligent debater.
Yeah, I know. But
So
he also
if they
talks
just
about
transfer
how
somebody,
children have imagination. I think what he's really talking about is that the younger you are, there's an adaptability. As you get older, you get kind of set in your ways. So the thing is, if I transferred you from one body to another, adults they'll miss eating. They're what about breathing, not using the restroom, sex? Like there's all these things that have already become set in the human condition. Whereas with children are more adaptable and can shift to a different situation, and their theory, because remember, this is a theory too. They don't know if this is 100% true. This is the theory they're working on. That kids can adapt, because we forget it's not a done deal. It's a fucking experiment.
Yeah.
So
but like I said, that would be a great explanation for those guys. Is that all they're good for in Boy Cavalier's world, because they're in my world and I own them, is just make them clean the walls. They're not good for anything else. Just put them in there. I own them. That would, for his pettiness, that makes a shit ton of sense.
Here's a statement on that universe. Where's David?
Yeah. Well, we don't know how many years after.
No, but the thing,
I don't know.
Yeah, no, because David isn't going to die. David's going to go on for a long, long time. Where is David?
Oh well,
I know, because here's the thing: Alien and Aliens didn't use him because he didn't exist as a character, right? But David is the one thing from the prequels that I genuinely think is fascinating. The mistake they made was that they didn't stick with him as the lead. Yeah.
He can always show up later on a moon somewhere, having dispersed his aliens everywhere.
Yeah, I'm so fascinated if at some point down the line, the new synths and the old synth, the original synth.
I mean, it would be amazing if he and Kirsch met up.
Yeah, but then you kept saying to me about how, well, what kind of model is Kirsch? Does Kirsch have limiters on him? Does he have programming that stops him from doing things like what's
And he
Kirsch's,
must, because they had already done that in Covenant. They had already realized their mistake with David.
Yeah.
And they had started limiting the emotional
or did
part.
Boy Genius unlock it because he was like, well, I want someone brilliant that I can talk to,
Thus far,
Kirsch
has operated in the kind of post-David mold where he does not appear to have, as far as we've seen, again, we can only go by what we've seen.
Yeah.
He does not demonstrate those more whimsical, and that's the best word I can come up with for David's kind of eccentricity. He doesn't have that. He feels very much like Ash and Bishop kind of mixed together. Where, Ash was the classic corporate model. Bishop was he was still operating.
Well, he was fascinated. He was fascinated by the xenomorphs, but not to the degradation of anyone else.
But Bishop was, they were both loyal to what they were programmed for. In Ash's case, it was to get a xenomorph. In Bishop's case, he was a military, servant. So
he was there to help and protect.
Yeah. But he never got really emotional. Like David, David was clearly like jealous and like there's no point where I would see
what's funny is that Boy
Ash
Genius
or Bishop coloring their hair because they watched Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, I know.
No universe where that's happening.
I love that Boy Genius gets jealous of Kirsch. Like when he's doing the science with the eye bug and the sheep looks at him, and Boy Genius is like, no. He's like, look over here. He's like, I'm the one you want to look at.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there going, no, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You just let it know who the main person for it to fucking implant itself in is. I was like, what?
This is the show cluing us in that this person is not smart. They are wealthy and they are self-absorbed with their own perception of their intelligence. They are not actually smart. A smart person does not go anywhere near that room where there are windows. They stay and observe from afar. They have cameras everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Everywhere.
That's not secure enough. But the thing is, I do think he is smart. I don't think the mistake that we make is we think that one kind of smart is every kind of smart. I think that Boy Genius has a level of intelligence. I just don't get it's all-encompassing, you know.
Yes, he has a level of it. Everybody has. I shouldn't say everybody.
Listen,
many people have a level of intelligence. That doesn't mean you're actually
some brilliant people that are fucking idiots. Okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So his brilliance might be that he knew how to make money, and he's intelligent at that.
Oh yeah.
Not in any other way.
Yeah, he exhibits some fucking. You know, it's a theme that pops up and again. You know, this was it the. I can't remember where I read it, but there was a thing where somebody was talking about a genius, and they said, "Why are the smart ones so dumb?" You know, like it's like, well, they're really smart about things, but this doesn't mean they're smart about everything. Nobody is perfect in every way about everything. You know,
yeah,
and clearly he has an attention issue where he wants to be. You know, this is my world, and everyone's looking at me. An alien. Look at me. You want to eat me. I taste the best. No one tastes better than me. I'm the best tasting person here. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated, and I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm so curious. And I it's refreshing and sad to have something written this well, because it's. You know it's going to get canceled. Show this good can't exist.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, you already read.
It does seem to be generally being well reviewed, which is the only saving grace of it. But,
yeah.
You know.
But didn't you say that people were calling it pretentious?
Yeah.
Like.
It is.
So yeah, I think this is it is the highest quality of xenomorph property that you could possibly have at this point.
Yeah.
You know, and my only hope is that the Predator movie they do from the guy who did Prey also exhibits a level of intelligence and independence and good storytelling.
I hope so. I hope so.
But hey, to have a show like this and have it work, it's a great thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe FX might let it go too. Because FX does. This isn't.
Well,
Netflix.
they did Devs and they did Legion, so it is possible.
So,
I mean Legion got 3 seasons, and I don't think that ever did that well.
And it was going to say they like weird heady shit, you know.
Yeah.
So there's the hope. There's the hope. The real question is, how many seasons does this guy need to tell his story?
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
And will they have the money to do it?
Yeah.
Because this show looks incredible.
It looks very good.
I mean,
very good.
But there are weird inconsistencies. We should talk about this. There's weird inconsistencies in the CG. Because sometimes the CG looks really good, and sometimes you're like,
yeah. I mean, the cat looks pretty bad.
Yeah, the cat.
But that's fairly common. So,
but at least they did it in the dark. I mean, I give them credit. They were like, "Let's do it."
Yeah, and I mean, it was half cut open.
Yeah.
So, and it was being controlled. So there's things you can kind of explain some of the way.
I love that.
You know?
I do love that scene where it turns its head and it's like, "Hi, I'm just a normal cat. Nothing wrong with me." And you're like, "Yeah." It's like half of you is missing, my man. Like, and here's the thing: did the cat put that level of fight up? Or did it find it that way?
I don't know. I hope so.
Yes, I'm looking forward to what happens. I know that episode 5.
We're both enjoying it. That's a positive.
Yeah, well, it's rare, right, for us to.
Because for you, it's a miracle.
It is, but it's not. It makes sense. The writing is good. It's logical.
No, because
it's not
you, like you said, you had checked the fuck out.
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, fuck it. It's not torture porn. It's not a no-win situation. Like, there's a lot going on here that is fascinating. It isn't a no-win situation. And there are people that are going to walk away from this. But, you know, I don't think it's going to be a lot of them. And and that is an Aliens movie. Right? There isn't usually a lot of people that walk away. I'll be surprised if Boy Genius makes it through this. You know? But you know what? He might, because he's a corporate asshole. But you know what? He might meet an end like Burke. You know?
Well, we can hope.
Burke tries to fuck everybody over,
Well,
and in the end, he opens
as you
the wrong
said,
door.
the other guy's wearing Burke's suit, so I'm assuming the other guy's going to get it.
Yeah, the Burke suit. Yeah. With the
It
weird
would
collar.
make sense that Boy Cavalier makes it out of at least the first season because everybody will be pissed about it. So he'll probably make it.
You know, it'd be really interesting
Initially.
if he survives the first season and then it completely changes him.
Could
Wouldn't it be interesting if Boy Genius became like almost a force for good in the second season because
Listen, shows and movies have done that exact thing, and it's worked.
Yeah. And
so,
to be fair, everyone's acting is top notch on this. There's nobody that I'm no,
everybody's good.
The synths are all great because they're adults, but they're playing children, and they're trying to do it where they don't come off like some stereotype, right? They're trying to basically come off as intelligent kids, but they are kids. So like it's funny because some of them are more so than others, but the acting is like it's very deft the way they're doing it, where it's like,
well, they have a nice mix of some doing it in their reactions to things, and others are doing it in their physicality more than their actual reactions. So some of them just have very specific mannerisms that are childlike. And then there's the other girl who wants to be the favorite. Like, I want to be daddy's favorite.
Yeah.
She's so driven by this idea that I want to be the most liked one.
Yeah, and the fact that
for her, she's trying to like imitate, and she's imitating how other people stand, like to try to look adult.
Yeah.
But her motivations give away her immaturity.
Yeah, and the fact that Boy Genius then throws it in her face.
Yeah, well, because he knows, he understands what he's dealing with.
The desperation. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope they tell the whole story. And I hope it doesn't go south. I mean, listen, even if it goes south, the first half of it's been a hell of a fun ride.
And some great musical choices that make no sense.
Oh, yeah. Those ending lines. When that music kicks in,
because you said at one point, you're like, oh, they kick in the music while the episode's still going, not just in the credits.
Yeah, it kicks in. It kicked in early. It was like 5 minutes early when it kicked in. And then enough so that, when you think you're having it like an audio failure on your headphones? Like, that's what I thought was going on. I was like, oh, no, that's the credit music. I was like, holy shit. Okay. This is what it is. That's fine. Yeah, that's about as much as you can play.
I just hit the fade out button right when you said that.
Yeah.
That's as much as I can play. That's it literally is probably, I think you get 10 seconds. So that's probably just
exactly that's about as much as you can play.
Yep.
Oh man, I work after that song. That's why when you were like, I listen to Tool quite a bit. Yeah. So but it's weird. It is weird. But you know what?
It is.
He's obviously having a good time doing this. It's his project.
I should hope so. He's getting to do something different with Alien, and it's working for some. Yeah. It's not. Let's put it this way: it's not universally hated. So you're working something correctly, if not everybody hates it.
Yeah, I mean it's not just a dumb horror movie. It's scary. It's very scary, but not in that boo-ah way. Like it's scary because you're like, oh god, I don't want that getting out. Don't let that get out of that ship, man. Like, xenomorphs can swim.
There's no real cheap scares.
No.
That's an accomplishment on its own in 2025.
And the xenomorph is not the only scary monster. I'll say not the only scary monster.
Not the only one.
No. I mean, listen, Morrow's pretty scary. Like, when that alien comes up behind him...
At least they're not fucking each other over for a goddamn percentage.
When that thing comes up over his shoulder and he just stands there... I mean, he's sweating like a fucker, but like, he just stands there. Like, and I think the two of us were saying how, is it a show of force? Because they if you run, they'll follow. But is there actually, is this like certain animals where like a show of force will put them off? Like if you're not
Well,
afraid,
had he extended the knife at that point? I think he did.
I
So
think
I think
he
was
was
going to
extending
attempt.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
was,
I think it was like, okay, I've got one shot at this. I better do it exactly right. And then then it hears somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. And then the Marine shut up. Yeah. And
Well, I think it hears gunfire and somebody's yelling, and so it's like, oh, something aggressive. I'm going after that instead.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's like a T-Rex.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yep. I hope it continues.
Yeah, me too.
But we couldn't just leave. We couldn't just do that as our review because
No. Lando's
serious...
statement after that was, okay, now we have to watch something dumb, and that is a
do.
natural segue into what we watched next.
You shut the fuck up! Thanks for killing my mom. Hey, no problem.
Hey, no problem.
Just give me the essence of the thing, the juice, you know.
Been the instrument of the devil.
So we watched a movie called.
Did you get sound clips from this?
That was I'm the instrument of the devil on the steam train. That's all you really need.
Okay. Yeah. So let's just be very clear. This movie is called Beyond the Door 3.
Yes.
But really,
that's its American title.
But really, it's called The Train, and that's the name that Europe and Asia got it. And that is appropriate.
There's Death Train, which I was calling it all throughout our commentary, not realizing that was one of its alternate titles, or Amok Train, which is also a good title.
Well, yeah, but the other title was Il Trenor. It's the train.
Well, Il Treno is the train in Italian.
Yeah.
Il Treno. The word Treno is train. Il is the. That's all. So yes, it's
my wife always asks me after we watch movies what I watched, and I came out and I told her it was a movie. It was an educational movie about Satanism that says that young people should have sex so that the devil can't get them. She was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yep." And that's Listen, this goes back to Hack-O-Lantern. We have a whole series of movies that are basically anti-Satanism by making it so boring.
Inadvertently, yes, I have chosen a number of films that really make Satanism, for the time where Satanic Panic was huge, seem really stupid.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not even kidding when I say that this movie, the devil is thwarted by a saint banging a teenager.
No, you're entirely correct. That is not a joke, an exaggeration, or any distortion of the plot. That is the plot.
That is the last minute Hail Mary pass. And even the sequence, I mean, that sequence where he magics off her clothes and she's reaching the I gotta say, for a movie that is basically kind of like a dumb horror movie, there are some very specific filming choices that are like, it's filmed well. I mean, it looks good. The effects aren't that bad, and they're very specific choices. And that scene where he's reaching his hand out to the girl, the way that her hand reaches out to his, there's just something really sexual about it. Like, they don't even show you the sex because you know what's going to happen. And you're sitting there going, what? That's going to happen now? Like, now? Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves because there's a lot of weird fucking movie before that.
Yeah. Okay. So as I told Lando, and I don't think my advertisement of the film was incorrect. This is a movie that is exceptionally light on plot and heavy on narrative. And what I mean by that is the story is your most basic color by number Rosemary's Baby setup. In that a young woman with a hilariously terrible birthmark, which is
bad.
Obviously red magic marker,
that
somebody drew a kind of half-assed flame, or I guess
they
swervy horns.
I mean, they couldn't even like henna it on there or something like that.
No. And they made it ridiculously big, which makes it all the stupider. They didn't just make it some small thing. They made it this huge thing on her torso. But this woman is part of a class taking an unsupervised trip to Yugoslavia to observe a pagan ritual with no chaperones
and no supervision. A pagan like play, I think is what they call it.
Well, they say
honestly,
you're going to see a passion play, but
Yeah,
the
I had a
teacher
really
calls it
hard
a
time.
ritual. So
I had a really hard time getting over the fact that they had no teacher with them. I was
well,
like,
except that one of the students was 35, as you said. So
well, he
maybe that
looked
was
like
what
he
they
was
thought.
35. Yeah.
Oh,
but,
I would bet he. Let's see. Well, how old was the guy? Let's take a look, shall we? I'm curious. Beyond the door.
yeah.
3.
And so, the Satanists have set it up that this girl is going to come to them so that they can have this ceremony. And they've somehow, and here's the thing, there is a genuine force going on, right? Because her mother, once she leaves on the plane for, where are they going? They go to Serbia?
Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia.
Yeah,
Her mother
Yugoslavia.
is killed by like an I-beam coming off a truck, right through the head, which is also a very good
I-beam
effect.
meaning metal I-beam, not a laser shot from someone's eye.
No, a metal I-beam that goes through her
Which
head.
in this movie would not have been out of place. If somebody fired eye lasers, I would. So I'm just making it clear.
Yeah.
No, they pulled a
And this-
Omen shot or Final Destination where a piece of metal on a truck that was braking hard, where the momentum would be forward. Somehow a I-beam goes backwards through the taxi cab, right by the Australian backpacker who is driving, and spears the mother in the neck and cuts her head off.
The neck through the fucking face.
Well, it severs her head from
And the
neck
effect,
up.
listen, and the effect is good. It's not bad. Like, it's well done.
No, most of the effects are, as you said, are very good.
But, so she doesn't know that her mom is dead. And that's a major plot point, by the way, because when you get to the end of this movie and the girl's like, I just want to go home. And then she's sitting there and you're like, she doesn't know her mom's dead. She's going home to find out that her mother's dead. Like, you got nothing, sweetie. It's like, there's nothing waiting for you there.
And it's easy to forget because it happens in the first 10 minutes of the movie and then is never referenced again.
Yeah. And they go right
unless
into
you
it.
think about it.
Yeah, they get to Yugoslavia, and a guy shows up who is very, very, I don't know.
He's dressed like Mephisto. He's dressed in red, black
he
with
sets
red
off-
scarf, red tie.
Yeah, he sets off a
cane.
lot of red flags, and they take his boat. And I thought there was going to be like a little bit of like a veneer to this until they realize what's really going on. There's no fucking veneer. They get off the boat and they show up in this like weird, creepy village that time forgot, and they immediately launch into okay, put those kids into those places and lock them down, and put that girl over
in
here.
a small, out there folk horror village, like something out of a fairy tale.
Yeah.
Where everybody looks like a ghoul or a zombie, and are staring at them like they are sacrificial lambs, which is the intent. And all but the main girl, Beverly, who I mentioned this in the commentary. I said this a couple times during the filming. I think they were very smart. Everybody else, except for the guy who looks 35, they look relatively out of high school. They all fit the archetypes. Like they're all kind of standard issue stuff. The main girl, Beverly, she looks very unusual. And I think that was smart because it makes her distinguished. You notice her apart from everybody else. And I think that was smart casting. So they take all the standard issue, normal looking high school students and they throw them all into huts, 2 by 2. And Beverly gets to go to a special hut with Mephisto and the most obvious Baba Yaga witch you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, and she's like, "Yeah, have my soup." Like, oh yeah, the way he says it too. He's like,
hot soup.
"Here,
You'll enjoy
have
this
some
hot soup."
Have some
Hot
soup.
That's
I'm going
that's
to
the clip I should have
enjoy
gotten.
my hot soup.
Soup, yeah. This dude
Come
is all
here.
about the soup.
Yeah, I think
So you
you'll
give her the
find you
soup.
want the hot soup.
The hot soup. Then again, this is all in like the first 15 minutes. This is all happening very
Yeah.
rapidly.
And
she
then
gets the
she
soup,
drinks
she's
it.
drugged.
It knocks her
she
out.
drinks it. She falls
And
asleep.
then
at which point, Baba
they
Yaga does a
checks-
virgin check.
I know. And when you told me she was doing that, I thought you were joking. And then they're like,
I know.
"Oh, she's still a virgin," and I was like, "Oh my god, they did." But you know what? I gotta say something about this movie. The devil, in all his power in these movies, keeps picking the most ass fucking people. The fact that he like he can't have like devil worshippers in L.A. He's got to have them in this back fuck town in Yugoslavia, and be thwarted by basically a girl having sex. Which, by the way, let me tell you, at that age, that's usually when they start having sex, my man. That's what I did. So the devil is thwarted by natural human function? Is this why he's never going to take over? Because he basically has moronic plans and puts his plans in the hands of moronic people? I mean, it is... This movie makes Satanism in all its power so fucking laughable. Where it's like, I got a magic train, and the train doesn't need tracks, and I'm killing all these people, and I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna take over the world, and oh my god, she had sex, and now I can't? That's it?
Yep.
She's just
undone.
She just
undone by boning.
And then you and I had this conversation where, well, technically, if the hymen is broken, right, you're not a virgin anymore. So, like, if she had a hard fall and broke her hymen, does that thwart the devil? Like, you know, are there nuance to these rules? You know, and here's the other thing. This is the devil, right? Like 2 minutes before that sequence, the weird Mephisto guy is talking to Beverly. And he's like, oh, we're going to bring greed and terribleness to the world. And she's like, okay, cool. And he's like, oh, you think that's cool? Oh, yes, greed. Oh, it's so terrible. You know. And then it's like, but then why is she a virgin? I guess I can't wrap my head around it. If this is the Prince of Darkness, if I were the Prince of Darkness, I would be like, you know what? Bring me the most hot fucking whore of a woman you could. Somebody who's into everything. I want to do every trashy thing. I hope she's had sex with 100 men and women and whoever.
Listen,
throw some animals there if you want.
Bring me the woman who's the villain of Iron Angels 1.
Oh yeah, I mean that's really if I was the
devil
Satan
right there.
That's the one I want to breed. You know, the Antichrist. So I find it's almost like you've got all these Satanist movies written by Christians that are just trying to like, you know, like, well, you know, of course the devil would want a virgin, right? Because, you know, virgins are powerful and holy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but it's so anti. Like, does he need the virginity so he can destroy it? Like, you know, and why does the fact that she's not a virgin just instantly? I mean, it instant kills the plan.
Oh yeah. No. Not only instant kills the plan, instant kills the devil.
Well, no, the devil goes back to hell, but then the devil's power, he fucking punishes the Mephisto guy and melts him down into nothing. Like, literally, it's like, what? She's not a virgin?
Well,
fuck, you're all dead.
No. I'm not even convinced the devil goes back to hell. I think the devil's dead. The devil blows up.
I don't know. It looks like an elevator. I think he goes back down to hell.
Oh, no. I think it's... Well, I have the movie. Hold on. I want to see it. I think his face, like, his eyes bulge out and he blows up.
This is his mortal form. He just got
I know. I'm just saying that
decorporealized.
By what everybody just saw, getting boned kills the devil.
He gets decorporealized, like,
yes,
you know, because she had sex.
I think the most critical mistake that this movie makes in terms of, I don't think they should have called the devil the devil. It should not have been Lucifer. He should have just said my master. And then it would have been like, wow, the dumbest demon we've ever seen enacted the dumbest plan to try to get power. And it's, you know, that would have actually been kind of darkly funny. That this was the stupidest demon you've ever seen.
Yeah.
That this was his whole plan that took centuries to set up, undone by a magic flute saint monk who could magically strip a young woman, even though he probably didn't need to because he's
like
gorgeous.
Really hot.
So,
I mean, he's like supermodel gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
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 I mean,
but so this all happens in the beginning. The huts are all set on fire except for hers. One person dies because he doesn't get out of bed.
It's almost like he's ensorcelled.
Maybe, but nobody else is, so I don't know why he was.
Well, yeah, but you know what? But the devil can only seem to ensorcell one person at a time.
But also, his friend doesn't just pull him off the bed when he could have. I don't know why he didn't do that. Because, and one thing I will point out, and this is as you said, the filming is not a critique here. These actors, in multiple points in the movie, do dangerous things. And that first scene where they're in beds that are on fire, they're in the beds that are on fire. They are going through the flames. The actual actors are going through the flames and could have been burned. Or something could have gone wrong. They could have died. Because, again, this is no CG. They're not like, they don't have... It's not where a lot of movies will have the flames on a little bar up close to the camera and you can tell that they're not really close to them. You see them in beds on fire. Now, I don't care how safe you're trying to be. Sheets and everything, like, you can make them fireproof, but you could slip, fall. Things can go wrong. So I admire and then they're jumping on a train that, even though it's moving slowly, it's still a heavy train that they're not at the back of. They're in the middle of it. If they slip, they could lose a limb or be killed. There's multiple points where these actors are in actual danger because they're doing the stunts. Probably because, it was in a country where there weren't a lot of rules. So, whatever faults this movie may have in terms of its storytelling and logic, the filmmaking, as you said, I am more impressed than I think some people are because I am paying attention to what these people are doing. And the fact that they could have been very lazy about a lot of things in here and weren't. So, yes, filmmaking far better than you would think. But anyway, they set all these things on fire. Everybody escapes but one kid. Beverly and the kids jump on a moving train that happens to be going by. And they jump on that train at about 24 minutes into the film. Except for two. Because one girl slips and the other guy doesn't want to leave her, which I'll give him credit for. He was trying to be noble. Jumps off the train to stay with her. And they do not get off that train until an hour and 22 or so into the movie. So they're on that train for nearly 50 minutes. The bulk of this movie is on the death train, which is a very cool-looking train. It's this black train with these big fins, and I don't know if they would put them on there or if that's how the train looked. I have no idea. But I told you, I said, what do you think is going to happen to these two characters who got off the train?
Oh, the ones that didn't make it on there, yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to be dead. And in most movies, these two characters would be hunted down by the villagers and killed to show how deadly the villagers were or whatever. But it would happen quick. And instead, these two characters suffer and struggle and persevere until about... Where do they get killed? They don't get killed till an hour into the movie.
Yeah,
plus.
And the thing is, the way they die, too, it's terrible because the train, literally, the devil's like, fuck it, we don't need tracks. And the devil the devil train leaves the tracks, starts cruising through a pond, and blows through them when they're on a boat. Like it's just out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the train's kind of pettiness
it's a bitch, yeah.
One of the best things in the movie is the train just does shit for almost no reason. And for whatever, I have to imagine this was intentional because there's people speaking in, I assume, Serbian. I couldn't identify them.
Oh, yeah, there's no subtitles for part of it, so, yeah.
Until
Very
one
end.
line at the end where and probably a line that did not need to be translated because they don't, when the witch first does the hymen check, the integrity check, she just kind of goes, and smiles. But she doesn't say, yes, she's a virgin, we got a winner, chicken dinner. She just cackles and laughs. But you know what's happening. I mean, it's very obvious. And then at the end, when she checks and has sad face, she says, she's not a virgin. And I don't know why anybody needed to know that, but it's the only thing that you get a subtitle for. But there's long relatively long, 30-second to a minute long scenes where the train conductor and train crew, who have a staggeringly large role in this film, larger than you would think, where they're trying to stop the death train, they're talking to each other in whatever the native language, if it is Serbian or something else. I've made mistakes with native languages before, so whatever it is, they're yelling at each other. And I don't know that you need the subtitles, but it's bizarre that they subtitled the most obvious thing and not the stuff where there might be something we missed. But it's obvious what they're trying to do is they don't know why the train's not stopping. So I don't know
a lot of
need
this,
it, but it's weird.
The badness of this movie, because it's not a good movie. The bad writing of this movie is the fact that they spend a lot of time on other people trying to stop the train, which communicates the idea of, hey, the train can't be stopped. And it's like, I got that. Honestly, this movie could have been a little bit shorter. I didn't need all the attempts to try and stop the train. I get it. Devil's in a train. Train can't stop. Right? And it does feel like they needed a bit of filler. Right? Because, this movie is very simple. A girl is running from the devil, gets on the train. Devil, in fact, takes over the train. Systematically takes everybody out so that, it can now bring her back to his lair, right? And train won't be stopped. People try to stop the train. Devil won't let the train be stopped. And then she gets back to the town where they're going to, have the devil have sex with her. And instead, a monk saint has sex with her, and devil goes boom. I mean, right? Isn't that the short form of this movie?
Very much.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the badness comes from the fact. I mean, it's funny. Don't get me wrong. It is very funny to watch, but the bad writing is that they spend as much time as they do with people who are not integral to the plot, just trying to stop this train. And the movie's like, look, they can't stop the train. Look, they still can't stop the train. They can't stop the train. And then there's no resolution to it. Like, that's the thing. Those characters don't ever come back. Like, that's it. You're like, oh, no, they couldn't stop the train. And that's it. And you don't see them again. So it's, you know, it is a bad movie. but it's an enjoyable movie to watch.
I wouldn't call this a bad movie. It's a brain dead fun time. Because as you said, as I echoed, the production is fairly good. I mean, there's clearly some miniatures which I find adorable.
Oh, the miniatures were they were darling.
They're great.
It is a funny movie. Like, but you know, the
story is so nonsense. You know, it's nothing. But that's not why you watch this. You know, if you really want a great movie about a woman who's going to give birth to the devil, you watch Rosemary's Baby.
I mean, he's undone by sex. When is the devil undone by sex? The devil is usually the one that wants people to have sex.
Well, no. It's very common to have the virginal wife of Satan. That's a classic trope. Why? I agree with you. It doesn't make any damn sense from the Satan part of it. I don't know. In fact, I'll bet you. Hold on. Why does Satan always want? No, I'm serious. I'm looking for it.
I can't wait for this answer. Why does the devil ask?
Okay, here we go. Well, okay, this is why I know why Satan fears the Virgin Mary. No kidding. I get that part.
Why does the devil need virgins?
Yeah, why I literally searched for why does Satan always want virgins? Let me try why does the devil?
Oh, you know, I can't find it.
Why does the devil? Wow, jeez. Yeah, that's really weird because it's very common. Yeah, this is all about.
Yeah, Satan uses sexual desire. Yeah.
Yeah, this is so strange.
All right, hold on. Where does the idea of the satanic ritual with the virgin?
I just found the same thing on Reddit that you did. I found the same thing.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The image of human sacrifice in the Bible, such as the bindings of Isaac.
What a non-surprise.
In Genesis 22:9-10. When they reached the place God had told them about, Abraham built an altar there and arranged the wood on it. He bound his son Isaac and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. Then he reached out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. By the way, if you want a great example of what a cocksucker God is in the Bible, the story of Isaac is a good place to start.
I assume that's Old Testament.
Abraham, do you like me? Do you like me enough that you'd kill your son? Kill your son for me. Okay, I'll kill my son. Okay, I was just kidding. You don't have to kill your son. You've shown that you like me. It's like, what kind of fucking asshole of a god pulls that shit? Like, come on. I mean, honestly, it makes sense that the devil is an inept fucking retard. Because you've got this kind of god at the other end. You know, it's like, anyway, yeah. So no, there doesn't seem to be a huge explanation. This is a lot of. I think it's just because a virgin is holy. I mean, it's an un.
Well, a lot of them are pointing to there's an inherent sexual tension if you know the victim is a virgin. That there's something that's automatically layered onto that of innocence and purity. So it sounds like it's all descended from the classic, you know, if a woman has sex, she's a whore, therefore she's filthy, therefore who cares? Whereas
why would the devil care about that? He is filthy.
Well, because it would be perceived as the corruption of the most innocent, and that's what the devil's all about. Oh, okay. Somebody here, this is very long, so I'm going to condense this. There's a very long thing here about how virginity is often the loss of virginity is often seen or interpreted as the transition from childhood to adulthood. The worst kind of perversion and murder are those of the children or the innocents. Therefore, the sacrifice or the consumption, weird word, of a virgin by the devil or evil parties would be seen as the most the most heinous desecration of a human being. Okay, that makes some sense. That if you're tying...
so it's a further... Yeah, but I mean, I guess I just didn't expect everything to just blow up then.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and somebody else says here that from a 1935 writing, A Survey of the Occult by Julian Franklin, quote, the first requirement in the celebration of the Black Mass is a virgin, naked, spread-eagled on the altar, and the climax is reached when the officiating priest performs a sexual act with her. Okay, so see, this is all... I think this is more tied to the... Well, I mean, that's saying exactly there, that the priest gets to defile her, meaning he's the first one to get in there. But I think what it's more largely attributed to, and what makes sense...
So basically, the devil kills everybody at the end because he's not the first one to get in there.
Well, I think you're asking where this came from. It makes sense to me that the traditional view of a virgin is a child, is a person who is pure and childlike, and the marriage, and therefore the act of consummating the marriage is what makes you a woman and a man. I mean, it works both ways. You're not a man until you've gotten laid. You're not a woman, or you go into womanhood when you have sex with your husband. I mean, this is the traditional stupid version of how gender roles work. So that makes sense. That if Satan gets there first, he has made you into an evil adult. And he's also basically, depending on your moral views, he has murdered an innocent. Sex without marriage and with the devil. Oh my God. That's what it is. I mean, it all makes sense to me in this,
listen,
15th century nonsense or whatever.
It's still hilarious that, an adolescent, or not even a teenager, a late teenager, thwarts the devil because they do the most common thing that teenagers do.
Oh, yeah. Well, the fact that they...
all that train shit, all that power, and it's like...
Listen, there is an irony that the same grievous error made by the school is repeated by the Satanists. What does the school do that's wrong? They sent these kids without a chaperone. What did Daddy Human Mephisto do that was wrong? He let these people get on a train that didn't have a surveillance unit on it. How did you ever allow this woman out of your sight? If she's so precious, why would he have left the building and not just watched her like a hawk?
Yeah, why wasn't she chained to the bed? I mean...
Yes. So everybody's stupid in this, except for Flute Saint, who's like, I know how to solve this problem. Hey, baby, let's get down. Which would have been even... That, too... It's clear.
I give this movie credit though, because like early on, there's like a there's a nude scene of the main character in the shower, which is weird. But they could have had a humongous like heavenly sex scene, and they didn't. They just alluded to it. I was actually quite impressed. They didn't take that kind of easy B movie shot at nudity.
They literally threw boobs at you in the first 4 minutes or so, and then never went back to it again. Yeah. And the one other time they even approach a sex scene outside of the flute guy is the woman who's like, hey, have sex with me, and then she tears her own face off, which is a great effect.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Right after she says, what do you like about me? He's like, your mouth, your eyes, and then her face descends into maggot blood drips,
and that scene is weird too. What do you like about me? And he's like, I don't know, I like your face and your mouth and, like your ears and your hair, it's fluffy. Like
I almost feel like that was the specific thing that she asked him because that's what she was going to destroy about, or the devil was going to destroy about the girl to ruin her for that guy. That's what it felt like. It's okay. What things am I going to now ruin with maggots for you? What do you like? Got it. Luckily, he didn't say, I don't know, her ass. Or I can imagine her taking her pants off and it's just a bloody pair of ham hocks that just explode at him. As it is, she seems to have injection shot a bunch of fucking flesh into his mouth, which is quite disturbing on its own, where he's just
he's
firing
it's all
it
coming
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking gross.
No, I mean, and
speaking of which,
200 hours later.
Not really.
There are a few sequences when people get like torn apart in this, where the effects are actually quite good. When that guy gets hit by the train, and then the train just drags his head on. I mean, it's well done. I mean, say what you will.
That's what I'm saying, is the production side is actually far better than you would expect. If we just described the plot, you'd say, oh my God, this is terrible. Like,
No,
this
but
is just
the
a train
production
wreck.
is
Top to bottom.
quite good. I was surprised
is.
at how
No, it
good
is.
it looked.
Yes, it's only the story that is utterly just brain dead, but the production does not treat it as such. I mean, yeah, the miniatures are obviously miniatures, but whatever. I don't have a problem with that. That's a budgetary problem. I can't.
You know what?
They tried.
They used miniatures in Total Recall.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, is it when Arnold's head comes out of that woman's head? It doesn't look lifelike. You can tell it's stop motion, whatever. 2 weeks. Yeah, but nobody cares. When his eyeballs come out on the planet, you know it's not him. Nobody cares.
This is the suspension of disbelief. If
Those
you're enjoying
3 boobs
story,
don't look real. Nobody cares.
I thought
that's the
those
most
3
mean
boobs
thing
were
out of that
real.
goddamn movie.
No. That's one of the best parts about that movie.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So that's what I mean. I don't have any problem with
boob.
that. And the gore effects are really good for the most part. When the one guy gets cut in half, the body is dropped under the train.
Yeah, it
and I
drags.
do not believe it was intentional. The head gets cut off.
I don't know why, but I wanted him to make it. I knew he wasn't, but I wanted him to make it.
Well, because he was the one person who seemed genuinely good.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, the black-haired girl seemed like the devil kind of capitalized on her pettiness.
Yeah.
Moose was the dumb jock, although really he kind of killed himself, so I guess he went out the way he was supposed to be. And the other two got dumped off the train.
Ensorcelled and then impaled.
Well, I just think he went insane. I also like the fact that when the girl tries to kill herself, she does it the right way. She cuts the veins correctly. Because most movies, she would cut them the wrong way.
But then she can't die. It goes away.
Well, yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is at least they had enough attention to detail to be like, well, this is how you would actually do it. Because most of the time when you see it, they cut it in a way that probably wouldn't kill you.
And every absurdity of this movie, and the one thing they got really right was the suicide sequence.
They did. No, somebody knew what they were looking at and was like, no. It has to be vertical, not horizontal. Now, what would have been really clever is if they'd done both, like an upside down cross, because that would have just been like a nice wink to the audience. But, I understand. Time was of the essence, and I read a little bit about the production of the movie, which apparently they just rented a train in the middle of Serbia while it was in warfare, so there was kind of like chaos everywhere. So it sounds like this was probably not the most fun shoot in the world because they didn't know if the whole country would descend into goddamn civil war and mass chaos while they were there. But that meant they could shoot cheap. So,
yeah,
some of this makes more sense. But yeah, like I said, it's a fun movie. Is it a good movie? Depends on what your definition of good is. I think it's a good movie, entertainment-wise. If you're coming into it expecting primer level script, you've chosen incorrectly. This is not anything like that. But for a rather silly but well-filmed riff, Italian-Serbian riff, and that's not a combo I say often, Italo-Serbian riff on Rosemary's Baby, you could do a lot worse. And you can watch it for free. It is available free. It's also included in some different channels, but it's free to watch. So...
And listen, if you like horror movies at all, it is worth watching at least once because it is like it defies a lot of expectations.
It holds your attention. It holds your attention.
I personally think the train sequence goes on too long. I do. It's my one hang up. Like, for the movie being what it is, my one hang up is that they keep trying to stop the train. Like, I think they should have had less to do with the train people and focused on the people on the train trying to stop it. Yes, it would have been a shorter movie, but I feel like the train thing drags because they try to bring all this other shit in. And it's like, well, you don't know these characters. You don't know these people. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I do feel that part drags a bit.
I don't disagree, and yet I must say that one of the things that I find most delightful about this movie is how much is just on a train.
Yeah.
because when I first watched it, I thought, okay, when are they getting off the train? And not until the last 10 to 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Not until the last 10 minutes did they get off that goddamn train. And there's a point where you realize that this train is invincible. And so you're sitting there going, okay.
Well, you know what? Listen, maybe
why
if
will
they'd
it stop?
maybe if they'd had the original title, The Train, you would have been this is a train.
Then it would have been more obvious. Yeah. No kidding. But and then we should talk about the fact that it does not do a typical Italian ending. So as we said, train finally stops when everybody but this girl is dead. She has her nice little sex scene with the guy, and then she's dressed. The villagers dress her in a very nice satanic bridal dress, which of course is all black with a black veil. Because,
David's bridal for Satanism. Yeah.
David's satanic bridal, or I guess Damien's bridal. And so she gets into this horse-drawn carriage with the guy from the beginning, which is Bo Svensson. He's a well-known actor from westerns, that type of thing. He's probably shot for 2 days.
And what's funny is
the
that
very beginning and the very end.
He's a little bit upset the fact that he can't have her. Where he's like, "Well, you are the Prince of Darknesses now. I cannot have you." But like, he's annoyed.
No, he's very clearly jealous of the devil. Because in the beginning, you really do think he's probably going to try to rape her. I mean, that's kind of what it seems like is going to happen.
Yeah, it's pretty slimy,
And then he's like, no, you're my master, so I just have to sit here and wank off when he has sex with you, which we'll all be watching, and that's as much as I'm going to get. But he's basically, she's like, so I'm the key to everything.
And that should be a Satanist marriage. It should be the devil having an orgy with a bunch of whores while a bunch of people watch and wank off to it. That's what I expect it to be. Right. Why is it so boring? Why is Satanism so boring?
Really, we have watched, again, by accident, I did not design it this way. We have watched movies that have undermined any of the dramatic kind of trappings of Satanism.
Sucks. It's like Christianity, but in black. I mean...
No, honestly, from the depictions of what I would call classic Satanism that we've seen, the Church of Satan really does seem to have figured out the correct way. Just have a fucking blast, everybody. Just don't hurt nobody and have as much fun as you want.
Like, that's the thing. There's I think there's two sides of the devil here. There's the one side that's like, I want corruption and I want greed and murder and I want terrible things to happen. Yeah. But on the other hand, there's the whole, you know what? Just enjoy yourself. Don't follow the rules. Drink, have sex, have a good time. I would think that to the devil, having a good time is just as important as all the greed and the murder. In fact, if I were the devil, right, I would fucking double down on the good time. Because people are more likely to have a good time. They want to have a good time. It feels nice. And they're more likely, I think more people would be Satanists if there was a good time aspect to it. Hey guys, it's happy hour at the Church of Satan. Free drinks, first round, for all new, new believers, right? But instead, all these movies, they just make it so, like, man, like it's just.
No, I agree. Good time devil is the way to go. Like everybody Wang Chung tonight devil is what you want.
The Wang Chung devil.
Yeah, you want Wang Chung Satan. You don't want, gloom and doom. And that's the thing too is, again, this movie, Satan looks like a miserable, monstrous thing. He doesn't look like he's having any fun. He doesn't look happy. He doesn't look like.
No, I mean, listen, Lucifer is technically an angel.
Right, and that's the thing is, like, Lucifer the comic book kind of got it right. Where Lucifer's like, can I just run a nightclub? Can I just fucking relax for a while? Like, I'm done with all this war shit. I just want to have a good time. And of course the problem there is that if that was the devil, everybody would go for that. He'd be like, go to church. What? Don't eat meat on oh, stop. Don't worry about it.
Meat? I'm having a fucking barbecue. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm having a good time, baby. It's fucking Coronas and burgers all day, all night down here.
What? Then maybe this is closer to kind of like the real Christian view of the devil.
I think it is.
The devil the devil is basically playing by the same rules of the mythology. And he's just as uptight. I mean, he used to be an angel, so he's got the same uptight bullshit mindset that the rest of the religion has. So yeah, he would want a virgin.
Yeah. Yes. That's what I'm saying. Is this we have seen multiple examples where the classic version of Satanism is stupid and boring.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was getting to was, so in the end, she shows up, and the old Baba Yaga witch comes up to recheck.
Yeah, she does the dipstick.
Amazing. It's amazing that they didn't bother to keep a track on her in the middle, and so they have to recheck her at the end. And Baba Yaga goes from happy face to frown face. And the best part is the girl's like, "Oh, I'm going to spread my legs because you're going to have a surprise coming." And she's like,
once she has banged the saint, she's no problems with these assholes. She knows what's coming.
Oh yeah, she knows she's got them. She's literally got them by the balls.
She's like,
now.
"You want to check? Here, I'll spread my legs. Go ahead and check. Everything's just fine."
Ironically, she's got them by the crotch, even though they're going to check hers. And so the woman does, and screams she's not a virgin. At which point, everything goes to shit. The devil
Beverly
blows up,
kicks Baba Yaga right off the platform, which fucking kills her.
Yeah, she drops about 10 feet and dies. Which, okay. Daddy Human Mephisto starts screaming, "No, no, no," because no plan B, I guess. He didn't have a backup virgin, just in case. So that's it. Everything blows up, and the devil's incinerated, and Beverly goes to get on a plane. She gets on the plane, and before she does, a woman comes up to her and says, "Oh, there was a book left for you by this guy." And she says, "Who?" And the woman points and says, "That guy over there." And you see the guy with the flute, and he waves.
The hunky monk.
Yeah, Monka Chunk, and he disappears. And then she opens the book and she looks, and there's this kind of, illuminated
there's a sexy
painting
picture of him. Yeah.
There's a very, very nice picture of him. And it says that he was a monk who was originally condemned as being in league with the devil, but then was later recognized as actually being the greatest defender of the church or something, and was made a saint. So she basically, not only did she get a perfect 10 lay, but he happened to be a magic saint. So she wins on all counts in terms of that.
Except her mom is still dead.
Well, I'm getting to that. So then she's on the plane, and the plane starts to have turbulence. The little toy plane starts to shake, and the lights start going on and out, and a hand bursts through the window, and it's the devil. It's the devil that we saw. His devil hand comes in, grabs her by the neck, all the lights go out, and in a typical Italian film,
that would have been
and more than Italian films, but mostly Italian films, this would be the kind of, twist ending that the devil survived. But then she wakes up. It was all a dream. And the stewardess comes over and checks on her and says, "Are you okay?" And she says, "I just want to go home." And then you basically see the credits. And that's when you and I are both like, yeah, but there's
your
nothing
mom
left.
is dead. You've got nothing.
So the irony is that the worst ending is not the devil killing her, which at least would have put her out of her misery. She's going to think she got out of all of this only to go back and her mom's dead. She went through all this shit. All the other people are dead.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be inquiries about it.
And we're assuming that her ex-boyfriend, the devil, isn't going to harass her for the rest of her life.
Well, yeah, assuming he is in fact just banished as opposed to dead. I really do think the movie is meaning to say he's dead.
Okay.
And that's why I think they shouldn't have called him Lucifer. They should have just not named the devil.
I don't think he's dead. I just think he's barred once again to the.
It makes more sense that Lucifer would not be. Although this Lucifer was pretty stupid, so who knows? If he was so stupid that he banked his entire world domination plan on a teenager not having sex when she's on a train for 3 days with guys.
God let the Romans nail his son to a fucking board. What are you going to do?
It's true. I mean, but that's what I'm saying is the devil may be dumb enough that he got himself killed because he didn't have a backup virgin. So I'm not convinced he's not dead, because nothing in this movie proves that anybody involved with Satanism has 2 fucking brain cells that aren't fighting for dominance. So whatever the case, the ending seems uplifting.
You know what? And
yet isn't.
It is so worth watching. That moment when you realize that the devil will be thwarted by sex, you're just like, oh my God, really?
And
Holy
that's
shit.
why I wouldn't call this a bad movie, because it is worth watching. There are movies I've talked about that you can make very good arguments against watching. This one is a ton of fun.
I stand by the fact it is a fun bad movie.
Yeah, and
Right,
I'm of the
writing
opinion that
isn't great. You know, the
any movie that
the
is
story
entertaining,
drags a bit. No, listen. It is a fun. There are bad movies and there are fun bad movies. This is a fun bad movie, but there
It's
are
a
movies
flawed
that are
film.
just. Yeah, yes, there you go. That's a diplomatic way of saying it.
Yeah.
It is a flawed film.
it's got some issues.
This flawed work of art and this statement it makes about the weaknesses of Satanism.
I will say, here's what I'm going to say with a straight face, and I absolutely mean it. I think this is a better movie than Avatar. So, because I'll tell you exactly why I'm saying that. I watched Avatar once and said I will never watch this again. I've watched Beyond the Door 3 twice.
Because that's you. And that's fine.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. I think it's a better movie.
And that's your statement. You'd rather watch this than Avatar.
Yeah, I don't think this movie has more flaws than Avatar does.
I would rather watch Avatar than this because I like Dances with Wolves.
Oh, well, wouldn't you just rather watch Dances with Wolves, though?
Oh, yeah, but you didn't give me an option. It was Avatar or Beyond the Door. If my option is or watch Dances with Wolves, I'll watch Dances with Wolves. That's the thing. The problem with Avatar for me is that I like the material it's ripping off. So they're like, hey, it's Dances with Wolves in space. I'm like, I like that movie. I'll watch Dances with Wolves in space.
You are correct because you and I differ here where I would not watch Avatar again. I would watch this again.
Here's the thing. I haven't watched Avatar again. Nor have I watched the sequels because I'm kind of like, I realize you just don't care.
Yeah.
But the fact that it is Dances with Wolves, I'm like, well, I like Dances with Wolves.
Okay.
And if I had the option between Avatar or this, I'd watch Avatar. But if the options were, like I said, or Dances with Wolves, Dances with Wolves is a fucking solid-ass Western. I love it. So
I think I also prefer this because it's a lot shorter than Avatar, which has a lot of stupid in it.
I know, and it goes on.
Avatar is what, 3 hours fucking long or so?
It drags.
It's pretty long. This does not drag. Say what you want.
You know what? Dances with Wolves goes on a bit too.
No, okay, but I will agree with you that if Dances with Wolves is in the conversation, that is clearly the best of these movies.
Of the three, I think it's a superior film because it does a lot more with a lot less than fucking Avatar's budget.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yes, if if you're including Dances with Wolves, then there is no straight face I can give the answer to say this is preferable. No,
the train. It's better than Dances with Wolves, man.
No, Dances with Wolves is a classic for a reason.
Yes.
But if it's for me,
I
if you gave me the
appreciate.
choice, I'm watching this again.
I appreciate that you are not fond of Avatar.
I don't even dislike it. I just think that it's almost twice the length.
You know what? I had this fucking problem recently, right?
Yeah.
So, and this goes back to your idea that it's not that you dislike it, you just don't care about it, right? So the opposite of loving or liking something is indifference, right?
Yes.
A lot of people are like, the opposite of love is hate. No. Hate and love
it's indifference.
It's indifference. So recently, there was somebody who has entered the picture in my life on the periphery that isn't necessarily connected to me. It's connected to somebody connected to me, right? And somebody else was like, well, why didn't you acknowledge them? And I was like, well, because I don't know if they're actually going to be around. I don't like to engage with people. So it's like, I'm not going to engage unless I think that they're actually a permanent thing. I mean, there's no need for me to acknowledge them because they may be gone tomorrow. And they're like, oh, well, they think you hate them. I'm like, well, that's a strong statement, the fact they think I hate them. I was like, I'd have to like you to hate you. I was like, I don't hate you. I'm indifferent. And in my mind, indifference is better than hatred, But what was funny is they got so offended. They're like, oh my God, you mean you don't care? Like, I mean, how could you just not care? And they told me I was being weird. I was kind of like, why is that weird? I thought indifference.
Because you're right. No, because you're right. Most people don't understand. They do think love and hate are the opposites, and that one is the complete inverse of the other. And that's It's like the idea that hitting a dog is going to train it not to do something. No, dogs look for attention. Attention is attention. Being hated by God is still recognition of God. being
Well, that's what.
completely
That's what
just
Coffin.
indifferent
That's
is
what
worse.
Coffin Joe wanted. Coffin Joe wanted
That's
attention from God.
Right, and that's why
I'm
you're right.
acting
Most
out.
people
Look at
don't-
me.
Yes, they don't understand that indifference is actually worse
Oh yeah.
because it means that that you don't matter at all. You don't
Oh, okay.
exist.
Hold on. Okay, so then you're making a logical argument for the fact that my indifference to this person is actively worse.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
do.
thought I was being nicer by being like I don't hate them.
No.
I just don't care.
No, that's worse because they don't exist for you.
Oh man. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Then.
Hatred still means that some part of you is emotionally
Well,
engaged.
you know what? Thank you for clearing that up for me.
Yeah. That's why people will often say a good movie is worth watching, a bad movie is worth watching, a boring or mediocre movie
Yeah,
is the worst
yeah.
kind because you just don't have anything.
You're like,
you
"Ugh,
don't
whatever,"
react
yeah.
at all to it.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't realize I was
Yeah.
that big of a bastard. Well, thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
You've
Yeah.
illuminated some aspects of my personality that I was not aware of.
Well, this is what I'm here for.
I
yes,
thought
indifference
indifference was
is
better.
worse than hate.
Because like in my
No.
mind, someone who hates you is like goes about wanting somebody who hates you wants you to have a bad day. Whereas an indifferent person's like, I don't care, good day, bad
No,
day, whatever.
But even the hatred means that they're thinking about you. You matter to them,
yeah, see,
even if it
that's-
is in a
and that's-
negative way.
That's not how I function. Where I'm like, I want
Yeah,
someone to
and
hate me, so they're
indifference
paying
means-
attention. It's like,
Indifference means you could literally fall into a hole and die and they'd never even notice. Whereas if they hate you, they'll be happy, which means they know you died, which means they recognized and cared about it. in
yeah,
some
you're
way.
right. No, you're right. So yeah, I guess indifference is worse.
It is the
Well,
worst.
well, you know what?
And on that happy note, don't watch things you're indifferent to. Watch things that are good or watch things that are bad. Don't watch stuff you're indifferent to. Unless, of course, you're doing it for somebody else's benefit, because at least you won't, be miserable. But yeah, Beyond the Door 3, worth watching because you can watch it for free.
Or the train, aka
Or the train, or a muck train, or a death train. I have a link to the IMDb page, so whatever way you'll get there. And then Alien Earth, unfortunately, you do have to have a Hulu subscription for that, or I guess Disney Plus. I don't know. It's all lumped. Whatever.
It's on. It's on Disney Plus for me.
Or have a relative who has an account and you still haven't been cut off from it. I'm not saying that's what I'm doing. Lawyers listening. I'm just saying in theory, hypothetically, you might be able to still use somebody else's account because they gave you their password and they haven't caught on to it yet. So if you can, take advantage of that while you still can, and that would be another way. Or wait, and eventually it will probably be more widely available or something. Or do a free trial when it's all out, watch it, and then cancel. I still tell people, that's really
That's
easy
the best
to do.
way. That's the best way
Yeah.
to do it. Yeah,
Because you can create
trial.
infinite Gmail accounts. So you literally can just keep putting an integer on the end and getting free trials. I don't know why more people don't do this. Then just close the account. Who cares? Won't matter. So whatever method Alien Earth is so far in the first half
Very
entertaining.
good.
We will come back
Very
with
good.
a second half and total series review once it's done. But that's going to be probably a month from now because it's weekly. So there's still more episodes to come out. But we will, what I'm going to do, this is way ahead. Well, I guess not, because it's September, so it's not that far ahead. So Lando and I were discussing how the commentaries for these episodes would come out. And what I have decided to do, as a Christmas gift to all of you who are part of the Patreon, is the last 2 weeks of December, Monday through Thursday, every day will be an episode commentary. So starting on December 15th, so 15, 16, 17, 18.
So all
will be
the
1, 2, 3,
aliens
4.
are coming out one after the other.
They'll come out daily.
Can you do that? Like
Well, let's put it this way:
copyright-wise?
I've already uploaded them, and nothing happened. Seriously, I've gotten no alerts.
Okay.
And the reality is, because they are deprecated,
Yeah.
they have a layer of scratch old film shit all over them. They are at 50% saturation. The audio is pushed down 20 decibels, which means you can barely hear it. And we're talking over it. So let them come at me, I guess. They're going to make a very hard argument. Well, what I'm saying is there is a very easy fair use argument because I am not presenting a pristine version of jack shit. Even if we didn't talk, this would not be seen as any type of equal to, what's there. So, nothing has come up in any of the stuff that's come out yet. I've not seen a single word about it.
Oh, we'll see what happens.
So, if it happens, then there are alternate means for me to be able to deliver it to anybody who's in Patreon. You could send me a message in Patreon, and I will get you a link to it. Let's put it like that. There's, what's his face? Ian Malcolm said it best. Life finds a way. But the plan right now...
Yeah. Nerds find a way.
Nerds find a way is that's what it's going to be. So that's going to be the plan. I'm not going to put them on YouTube because I know that's not going to happen. So it's only going to be on Patreon. But as I said, free tier. And
Honestly,
it will be the last 2 weeks. So it'll be our Christmas present to you.
That should be the tagline for the show at this point. Nerds find a way.
Nerds find a way. Yeah, it could be. It could be the subtitle. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there you go, sir.
Like a muck train, nerds find a way. Yeah. Gentle Arts of Conversation, punctuated by chainsaws, a.k.a. Nerds Find a Way. On that note, everybody, whatever you do with your weekend, have a good time doing it. We'll be back again, hopefully, next week. Unless the copyright police find me from Patreon, I guess. But barring that, we'll talk to you again next week. Visit OzoneNightmare.com to subscribe to new episodes, browse through our back catalog, or to find links to support the show. Follow @OzoneNightmare on Twitter for the latest episode postings and other show information. If 280 characters just isn't enough, you can always email us, theozonenightmare@gmail.com. The opening theme for the show is provided by Heartbeat Hero. The closing theme is provided by Ogre. Please visit and support these artists using the links in the show notes for each episode.